Greetings to everyone out there in YouTube land. I'm a man Hutchinson, and I just want to give a shout out to Coach Dan. Thank you for all the support you show the team and the players. Everyone hit the like, subscription button, and yell woo in the comments. Thank you, and go Lions.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
All right, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Lions Talk Live 8, it's going to be the live stream for the game today. We'll do the play-by-play. We'll lead you up. We got, 28 minutes until kickoff. And I think most people are kind of watching this game saying, hey, this should be an easier game for the Detroit Lions. Maybe even the last truly winnable, easily winnable game for the Detroit Lions on the schedule, at least for the next several weeks. Excuse me. As we look at the upcoming schedule, you get it after today. You got Washington. You got a big one on November 16th, greatest day ever with the Philadelphia Eagles. Maybe you get a good game out of the New York Giants. We'll have to wait and see. And then the mega game we all know and waiting for, the Green Bay Packers versus the Detroit Lions. Hey, that's probably going to decide the winner of the NFC North. You got Dallas, you got LA, you got Pittsburgh, and then you got Minnesota and Chicago to round out the season. Here's what we do know. Lions are going to be as healthy as they have been in recent weeks, maybe even a month. We get it. Taylor Decker sounds like he's going to be good to go. We get the Minnesota Vikings a little beat up in the secondary as far as their offensive line and a lot of other places. Vegas have us at an 8.5-point favorites. Over, under, for those paying attention to those kind of things, 47.5. What's going to happen today? Well, we've heard some chatter all week long about how John Morton wants to get Jameson Williams more involved. It's his fault. He hasn't been more involved, et cetera, et cetera. We'll see what happens. It's my anticipation if the Lions do have a bit of an advantage late in the third quarter or so, if they haven't already given J-Mo, J-Pow, J-Wow the ball, you're probably going to see some sort of effort with them really getting him more involved. As far as actives and inactives, you probably already know this, but let's go over it in case anybody is just joining us. Detroit Lions have ruled out safety Kirby Joseph with a knee, running back Craig Reynolds, hamstring, and today's big matchup with the Minnesota Vikings. Left tackle, Taylor Decker, and a cornerback Avonte Maddox, along with running back Sion Vaki, were all listed as questionable. Friday's report, but should be active today. Decker's probably been the biggest question mark for the Detroit Lions heading into the trade deadline. Everybody wants to know, will Brad Holmes make a move? Is he going to look to add to the offensive line? It seems like in recent weeks that has been, from all Lions fans, the number one area of concern. Decker, coming off a Pro Bowl, has had a real good career in his time in Detroit as the starting left tackle. But as we also know, he's been battling a lot of injuries. This offseason, he had shoulder surgery, and he seems to have been impacted by that with his performance on the field. Remember, despite having missed multiple games this season, no offensive linemen for the Detroit Lions have given up more sacks this year than Taylor Decker. If he was to be out for any kind of real lengthy period of time this year, it does bring into question, what would the Lions do with the left tackle spot? There's been some sort of speculation. Penei Sewell would slide on over. Somebody else would go into the right tackle spot. I'm not so sure if that's what the Lions brass wants to do with it. We would have to wait and see. We do have multiple reports over the last week or two. The Lions have reached out to a number of different teams about potential trades. Even in this morning's show, we listed a couple that jumped out. One of them, probably the most noticeable one, would have been Joe Bitcoin with Bitcoin. I always want to say Bitcoin, but with the Cleveland Browns, because he can play multiple spots. He can play guard. He can play tackle to a degree. Could he possibly come in and be the right tackle for the Detroit Lions? That is a staggering possibility that would allow Penei Sewell to slide over. or could he just simply take the left tackle spot? Let's bring on now Riley O'Brien. Riley, we got a big game 25 minutes away. Before we dive into the Vikings contest, we get it. Everybody across the NFL fandom, whether your team's the Lions or not, are all paying attention to Tuesday's 4 p.m. trade deadline. Do you think Brad Holmes makes any kind of real moves?
I'm going to say no. I don't think so. I think that when you look at the overall makeup of the team, and I think you talked about it this morning on the morning show, that the team's healthy right now. I don't know that there's an open roster spot. That was kind of our thought going into the draft. I don't know if any of these guys are even going to start. Well, it's turned out that, that has happened, but I just don't think that there's any spots where you're saying we need to fill the spot like there was last year with Zadarius Smith. There was a clear reason to go acquire him because Hutchinson was out for the year, but I just don't see a name. I don't see a pressing need at this point where it's an obvious match that you've got to go pay a price to go acquire such a player.
You've had everybody in Mother Earth link the Lions for 2 straight years to Max Crosby, and the Raiders have said they're not moving on from him. Another one always linked to Detroit Lions is Trey Hendrickson, and it does sound like, per multiple people in Detroit media, Cleveland media, the two teams have had conversations both last year and this year. Hendrickson isn't the only person the Lions have talked to with the Bengals about trying to acquire somebody from them. Do you think there's any potential Brad Holmes changes what we've seen out of him in the last 4 years and says, hey, we'll go ahead and get a 1-year rental on Trey Hendrickson, try to push this team over the top and into the Super Bowl?
I don't think so, because I think if the Lions wanted Trey Hendrickson, I think he would already be on the team. I think that they would have made that move by now. Now, obviously, Cincinnati had the kind of the holdout situation going on with him, and then you come back and they're maybe writing it out to see, okay, what kind of position are we in come trade deadline time? But I don't know. I think that, I'd be excited as heck if we're going to have made that move. They likely already would have done so.
Getting to this game, the Minnesota Vikings versus Detroit Lions, we're going to see somebody very familiar to the vast majority of Lions fans. JJ is going to take over the starting quarterback once again for the Minnesota Vikings. What do you think he brings to their offense? What are some of his strengths and weaknesses Lions fans should be looking for in this game?
Yeah, it's one of these things where the word that I think Kelvin Shepard even used it was the moxie. And I know I'm good friends with Thor Nystrom, who's a big Minnesota Vikings guy and draft expert. And, these guys are huge on JJ McCarthy. Most Vikings fans, it seems like they are. And the way that they've designed their team, it's all predicated on, we're going to spend all of our money on all the other spots on the roster, and we want the quarterback on the cheaper deal. That's why they didn't extend and keep Sam Darnold. And so, but a lot of eggs are in that basket. Like almost all of their eggs are in that basket for McCarthy. So it's exciting, man, because you would think that he might come out and one, I think they got to obviously target Justin Jefferson. This guy hasn't had a touchdown in the last 6 games. 0 touchdowns over 6 games. 5th in the NFL in receiving yards to date. Obviously, he's arguably still the best receiver in the NFL, but they got to force feed him. I think that Minnesota's going to come out and just say, let's just sling it. Just go. And, they're not going to lose this game by being conservative. And, the whole thing's, again, based on McCarthy. Is Kevin O'Connell a true quarterback whisperer? When you look at the quarterbacks he's coached, Stafford with the Rams, obviously they had Darnold before. He's had players that, I guess the thing is, he hasn't necessarily shown he can develop a younger player. And if you can't develop a top 10 pick, maybe you're not the quarterback whisperer. So I think Kevin O'Connell's a great coach, but the McCarthy project seems to be what the whole Vikings setup is all based and predicated around. So I think they come out tonight or this afternoon and just let him sling it.
Sure. Okay. We talked about this to a degree for a while, but Kirby Joseph, he's missed the last game. He's going to miss this game. There's been some speculation the Lions could be trying to make it a move to acquire another safety. How big of an impact do you think his knee is on him and going forward in the season?
Yeah, I think we kind of talked about it after the Monday night game against Tampa Bay. The guys that filled in, they played very well. They filled that hole. If today was a playoff game, is Kirby playing? Probably, right? So there's concern, obviously, that did you bring him back too soon against Kansas City? But I think right now they look at how they played last game, and that doesn't guarantee that that's going to happen again today. But I think that you get Branch back, you get Terry and Arnold back. So there are some reinforcements in some of the areas on the field. I think that they feel like they can band-aid things a little bit longer and buy Kirby some more time. I don't necessarily think that they're surveying the landscape and saying, this is a big problem. We've got to go fill this hole.
When you look at the Lions secondary, because you already talked about it, everybody watching this, seen it happen on Monday night, the last game before the bye, that Lions secondary, some were saying, man, the backups played better than the starters. What do you expect out of those guys going forward? Because as you've already alluded to, Branch is going to be back. Sounds like Arnold's going to be back sooner versus later. We're hoping Kirby Joseph's going to be back, and then Reed's going to be back. What do you do with all the guys the Lions acquired and who performed so well on Monday Night Football?
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to almost ask you that question with you being the coach. What do you tell a player when they just do your job, right? None of these guys have to come in and be the player of the game. Do what you did last week, and that's a cliche of football. You're 111th, right? You just got to fill your role, and I think that they are going to turn up the pressure. Minnesota's offensive line is not great, and if they can get to McCarthy early, if you can start to rattle him, then that obviously takes pressure off of the secondary where McCarthy's not having as much time to try to develop something deeper with the Justin Jefferson on a big play. I think that's my concern would be preventing big plays from Minnesota today. But I think that the secondary, I'm confident in those guys. Just do your job. That's all you have to do is do your job, and the Lions should win the game.
Well, we do have some news hitting the wire about 10 minutes ago. Just for those who don't know, it could be a little bit longer than that. Apologies. I had coaching duties today, so I'm still playing catch up. I ran a little late getting back in time for the show. But adding to the Trey Hendrickson news, could he become a Detroit Lion, or just simply, how about this, be traded from the Bengals? He's inactive today, a healthy scratch. That's going to lead to a lot of speculation across fans around the NFL that the Dallas Cowboys, the Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions, the Sisters of the Deaf, Dumb, and Blind, whoever you want to list, somebody is trying to acquire this guy, and the Bengals must be listening in order to have him inactive. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I did see that news coming on this morning. It's indicative, right? I don't think that the Lions are going to acquire Trey Hendrickson, but I don't think that doesn't mean that the Bengals aren't going to trade him. I just don't think it's going to be to Detroit right now. Trey could, very well be saying, I think he's 30, if I'm not mistaken. So he's probably at a point too where he came back to Cincinnati kind of begrudgingly, and if it's not working out, and if Joe Burrow's not coming back anytime soon. Maybe they say now's as good a time as any. If you're going to trade a player, you want to obviously do it when a player's got as much value as he has. And Trey Hendrickson's value isn't going to be higher in January than it is right now. So if you're going to trade him, now's the time to do it.
All right, Jay Powell, Jay Wow. Everybody says he needs to be more involved in the offense. Morton said he's going to get him more involved, said it's kind of his fault. What do you do to try to get him to do more than just the deep shots? Well, there's been some people in the Duke crew saying, hey, have St. Brown run some of the deeper ones, have Jay Moe run some of the crossers. Early, often, what are your anticipations out of the offense in Jameson Williams today? That's
exactly it. That's another thing we talked about during the Tampa Bay game is do you have one of the other guys try to take the top off? Have somebody else go deep? Because J-Mo, it's not a secret here. Every time he touches the ball, he's a true home run threat. We saw it I remember the NFC Championship. I'm watching the game at my friend Bobby's house, and I'm telling him, dude, this guy, literally every time he touches the ball, he could take it to the house. And that's when they did that end around to him, and he ran and scored a touchdown. Right. And so it doesn't always have to just be the deep shots. We've talked about it. If you see Goff stepping back to throw something, you're almost positive it's going to Jameson Williams. He's going to be on the receiving end of that catch, or that pass attempt. But yeah, I think if you can send Tesla deep, if you can send Amon-Ra deep, or just a quick pass, anything it takes to get the ball in Jameson Williams' hands and give him a chance for yards after the catch, I think that would be the key. And if you try it 3-4 times and they stop him before he gets a first down, that's fine. Keep going to him. I want to see him get a career high in targets today. I think that'd be a great way to come out of the bye and reintegrate Jameson Williams into the offense.
The Jameson Williams coming out party is scheduled for later today. Tune in, Lions fans. All right, let's talk about the defense a little bit because you know what? Aiden Hutchinson, we all get it. He got a contract extension, a little bit of a surprise across the NFL that he was able to secure his new contract during the middle of the season. And let's talk about that deal. First, do you think he gave the team a little bit of a hometown discount? And two, is he worth the money?
Yeah, I would say it was a win-win trade. Is he worth the money? Yes, absolutely he is. And it was always going to be this interesting thing because during the offseason, it made sense that you're not going to pay him until you see him back on the field. But how long do you want to wait before you do pay him? If he continues to have a really good season this year, the thought was, is he going to ask for more than a Parsons or a Myles Garrett? I think the number you got him at was a pretty good spot. I feel really comfortable with the contract, with the player. Honestly, I couldn't be happier about the Hutchinson extension. And I think it'd be awesome to see him get to his old teammate today, JJ McCarthy, bring him down for a sack or two, maybe even.
You look at the Vikings, you look at McCarthy, we all get it. He's coming in. The offensive line's a little beat up. He hasn't played well in the 2 games that he did play. He did have, I guess you could say, a pretty good fourth quarter against the Bears. Other than that, what's your take on him? If you're Minnesota, seeing what the Detroit Lions defense has been able to do so far this year, what are you doing to try to protect your future starting quarterback?
Well, for me, with JJ McCarthy, again, I keep going back to my guy Thor Nystrom, who is a adamant believer in JJ McCarthy. And I look at it where if somebody like Thor is a super big believer in JJ McCarthy, if somebody like my friend Jason Harmon, big Vikings guy, if these guys are huge believers, it's got to be not just that they hope, but you see it. I remember feeling that with Stafford very early, even when the Lions weren't winning. It was clear that the talent was there. I think that McCarthy's been labeled as a game manager. Then you have the conversation, was that because of Harbaugh and how they played? And you won a national championship. So he's a winning football player. We know that. He wasn't good the first 3 quarters against Chicago. In fact, Caleb Williams was outplaying him. But then in the fourth quarter, when you want to talk about moxie, something happened where you were like, okay, it's there. And I remember McCarthy making a facial expression after making a huge play and turning to the sideline. The kid doesn't lack for confidence. Everybody in here, I know, knows McCarthy well. I think he's got a lot more to him than being just a game manager. Can they rattle him early? I think that would be a thing. If you can sack him once, if you can get him to throw a turnover and kind of get him rattled a little bit, I don't know that you're going to break his psyche, but just make it a rough day for him as much as possible. Have him perplexed out there if we can, and have that mental fatigue set in.
You look at the Lions, there's been all sorts of ups and downs with the team. Talk to me about what you're seeing out of the rookies that have participated so far, because let's be fair, last year's team, there really wasn't much need for rookies to come in. This year, you do have Ratledge, you do have Williams doing some stuff. What have you seen out of them so far? And then I guess you could throw Tesla in there as well.
Yeah, again, Tesla, I know, Coach Dan, you were huge on him when the Lions made that pick, and it's funny because last year there was less, like you said, almost a need or room for production out of the rookie class there. And I thought that would be even less so this year. And then it obviously turned out to not be the case, which is, part of what draws us back, that we think we know how things are going, but the never ending drama of the NFL and the rosters and how things are going. Didn't expect Ragnow to retire when he did. But man, those guys are contributing. They're playing a lot of snaps on a team that's 5-2, which I think is a pretty good spot for the team to be in. You look at the 2 losses at Green Bay, season opener, that was always going to be a tough one to win. And then Kansas City, though I predicted the Lions to win that game, Kansas City showed up, and you look back at it and that was their night all the way through. So I think the Lions are in a really good spot, 5-2, and those guys, they're not standing out on film as, God, man, if we just had Ragnow where we have Ratledge, it's not like a clear hole. They're filling in, playing admirably, and the reason stands to reason that those guys are only going to get better.
Glasgow, what do you think about him so far, this far into the season? How has he performed replacing maybe one of the best centers the Lions have ever had?
Again, relative to what the expectations were going into the season, we've seen Graham either be really, really good or there's not really a in-between with him. I'm happy with Graham's season so far. It hasn't been perfect, but again, I think what I would say if I just had to summarize it was his level of play is, in my opinion, it's good enough that the team can achieve what they want to, which is obviously ultimately winning the Super Bowl. I think that it's good enough.
Okay. St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, Gibbs, David Montgomery. The Lions have a ton of weapons in Tesla. I got to remember to put him in there. Khalif Raymond. Who has the hot game today? Who do you think has the better matchups against the Vikings? A Vikings team that's probably fighting to stay relevant at least, or at least somewhat in position to contend for a playoff berth.
Yeah, this one, the name that comes to mind for me, Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, last year the Vikings were the second best team against the run. This year they are the 9th worst. They went from giving up 93 yards a game on the ground. This year they're giving up 130. Sonic, it's got to be him all day. And if Decker is struggling at all, maybe it's not these stretch runs to the outside. Maybe it's just a quick something up the middle or a quick check down to Jahmyr Gibbs. But I think that you take kind of the similar approach that you did with Tampa Bay, get the ball in Gibbs' hands as many times as you can. And then I'd like to see a split between Amon-Ra and, again, going back to Jameson Williams. I think J-Mo's got to have a day today. He made some really good comments. It's awesome to see his growth that he's had since he's been in the league. Seems to understand, your time's going to come. You're going to get your opportunities. But the important thing with Jameson Williams is you are a contributing player on a winning football team. You're a winning football player, right? And so that's better than getting stats and being 1-6. And so I think it would just be nice to see him get in the end zone or have some big opportunities with the ball today, just to reward him for being as diligent as he has. So for me, Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams.
I'll take it indeed. All right, Riley, why don't you go ahead and give us your score prediction for today's game?
I'm going to go 31-17. I think the Lions are going to win this one 31-17.
All right, Riley Damas has spoken. He's given us his score prediction for the game. All right, guys, we got 8 minutes until kickoff, so I'm going to go ahead, go run downstairs, refill my beverage for the game, and I'll be right back up. Riley, any thoughts before we take a brief pause?
No, I think let's do the quick brief pause and then get the coach speech, and then we take the field.
All right, guys, give me just a minute. We'll be right back. And yes, we'll get this game going here in just a few minutes. So stay tuned for further breaking news situations as we get ready for the game. I don't know. I had to come up with something there to say. So be right back.
Oh, am I still on the air here? It's telling me live, and I think I am. So let me pull up. I'm going to read some comments from you guys. If I am, if not, I'm just talking to myself. I think I'm live here though. So let me get the screen pulled up here. James Willis, Khalif will score on a punt return. That'd be great. My guy, Bo Booth, Graham Glasgow has to handle the two young guards. Taking that into consideration, I think he's doing great. Trim Reaper, guess I'm watching. Leave it to Beaver. Bo Booth again. Trim, I have Fubo. It's worth it to me. I get all the Lions games. Mr. Detroit City, good to see you. Dan O'Reilly, awesome combination of humans and takes. That's awesome. Dan's great. String Theory, Lions 56-0. That's a bold take. I love it. Ahmed Hassanin's dad. My dear friend, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. Good afternoon and good game. I'm watching them go Lions. Yes, sir. Good to see you. Michael says yes. I need to get the tracker that Dan has on the screen here so I can look into the camera here but I'm reading here on the side. Dan ditched you. Yeah, James, he had to go do his whatever coach does here real quick before they, I don't know, maybe take a bathroom break or get one last drink here and then we get going. And Trim Reaper, yes, you're live. That's good. I'm glad I realized because I was about to just sit here and would have looked really funny just going for that. Bill Collier, thanks again for confirming here. You are live. Paper Bag Fan, let's effing go. Lions victory would be great. Bo Booth, Life of Riley is live. 28-20. Hassanin Mahdi, Lions win. That'd be great. Bill Collier's got 40-21 for Detroit. And Mr. Detroit City, Coach Dan is out back taking shots of Mountain Dew. That's probably it. I think we can put to bed any other theories. I think that's it. And you guys probably know better than me. I'd have to ask Coach Dan, when the Dew Crew became a thing. Obviously, I take it he's a big Mountain Dew fan, so must have been something where everyone else, shares that passion for Mountain Dew, and so Dew Crew became a thing. Xavier, good afternoon, Coach Dan and the Dew Crew. Hope everyone enjoys the game. Go Lions. Drede, Fox has the game. Let's see, Cliff Hicks, Kirby dressed up as Super Mario. Only makes sense, right? Michael, what's up, Coach, and the Dew Crew? And James Allen, I see that Kirby Joseph isn't playing today. Yeah, he is out. I think Coach Dan and I just talked about it. I think that if it were a playoff game, he would suit up. He'd be rocking and rolling. But I think that the way that the secondary played, and you do get reinforcements. Terrion's back. Brian Branch is back. I think you can hold down the fort for a little bit of time here. Mr. Detroit City loves Mountain Dew, and there's dew on the early morning grass when he goes live at 7 8. Is that what it is? Name just took off, says James Willis. That's awesome. Let's see if I think I had asked earlier score predictions. What are you guys thinking? Let's some score predictions here before we go live. I got 31-17. Xavier's got Lions 49, Vikings 14. Johnny L, very politically correct answer. My score prediction is that the Lions win. Hey, we'll take it, man. It doesn't matter if it's by 1, if it's by 3, if it's by 20. Lane Hill, good to see you as well. Thank you. And let's see, we got France Ferdinand, sub coach in the Dew Crew. Good to see you, man. And let's see here. Coach, we were just reading some comments here while you were stepped out.
I'm wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, I realized I was still live, so we started ripping through the Dew Crew comments here.
Let me start getting the mic turned towards the TV a little bit. That always helps. We got 3 minutes. I like it, like indeed. It'll be interesting to see what the Shep comes up with defensively to get after JJ, but I would imagine that you're going to go after him early and often, try to confuse him with different late line adjustments, send people to line, show him blitz, have him back out, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you try to just get into his head, I think of like when Sam Darnold said I'm seeing ghost thing. It's confusing. And then you combine physical fatigue with mental fatigue. That's a tough combo to kind of overcome. And then before you know it, hopefully the Lions, I'm sure they'll do well offensively. So if you could just get up a couple touchdowns and get Minnesota feeling like they're, not only are you not getting a knockout, now you're just hoping to not get knocked out yourself.
Keep hitting JJ early, often. I mean, the good thing is the Lions defense all season been pretty built around stopping the run, stopping mobile quarterbacks. How healthy JJ is going to be on that ankle, and I don't know. But if the Lions can get the ball first, go out and put points. Now he's got to chase a little bit. Could be a good day for the defense. Let's hope so.
That'd be perfect.
All right, players to watch, I guess, is next. They'll come back after this Peyton Manning, motivating Manning speech, depending on what you're watching it on. All right, let's see.
Did you give a score prediction, Coach Dan?
Dan O'Damas did. I think, if I remember right, Dan O'Damas predicted 54-17.
Oof.
Yeah.
That'd be something else.
Now, if you were to ask me, like I was saying earlier, I think the Lions, just because they have mostly veteran players on that entire defense, you'll be able to scheme a little bit more quickly. I doubt if they did much to get ready for the Vikings last week, but this week, I'm sure they're going to do all sorts of shifts. Like I said, you're going to have first roll, your 3 or 4 guys get to that line. The linebacker's going to come in, fill a gap, and then tap one side of the down lineman to tell them which way to slide, make JJ, make the offensive line make some adjustments. You got a bunch of new offensive linemen in there. You got a young quarterback. Where's the pressure coming from? And that's what I would want to do to JJ McCarthy. Keep having him have to think. If you can speed anybody's head up to where, like you said, seeing ghosts or whatever, I'm showing blitz. And I would overload the right tackle a lot, put 2 or 3 people there. Somebody's coming from that blitz, at least get McCarthy and the offensive line to think that. And then 2 of those guys drop out, or maybe all 3 of them, or all 3 of them go, cause confusion. get some hits on him early, get that ball to come out before it should, and help the defenders. So you're going to get up in the line, do press coverage. I think I said in the morning show, I would force everything towards the sideline, and he's got to throw deep, accurate passes, sort of like they did to Baker Mayfield over and over again. Now, the other side of that is Minnesota does have some receivers that can burn you, but I think with McCarthy's first game back, ask him to be pinpoint, throughout all 4 quarters. That's going to be tough to do. So
yeah, no, I think that's spot on. I think that's a great kind of analysis and thought on it. That's what you got to do. And I was really nervous going to the Tampa Bay game that Baker was going to come in and because he's been playing so well, and then to see what they did against him, you'd hope that what you could almost consider a rookie in JJ McCarthy wouldn't come in and he would be the one to go off. I'm not saying he doesn't have the capability, but I think that the game that Kelvin Shepard called just I guess 13 days ago at this point, we talked about it after the show, was just a masterpiece. So you want to see him obviously follow that up with another good performance, because that performance was good for that day. Just because you did it once doesn't mean it's going to happen again.
You got to repeat it over and over again, and that's what the Lions will have to do here today. As we have Fox starting to warm up here, they're showing the, Fox Transformer dude. Let's see what we get here. And we got a packed Ford Field stadium. Tom Rinaldi, the guy on the ground for the Fox broadcast. He's actually, I don't think, too bad. So we'll see what all shakes out here. The Lions should win this one comfortably. Looks like everything would favor them, but doesn't matter what you think. It's what you go out in the field and do. J.J. McCarthy being shown on the sideline here. He's doing his little prayer or meditation. I know he did that at Michigan. So he's probably a little nervous going to this first game back in Michigan against the Lions.
It's huge. Listening to some Vikings shows throughout the week, it's interesting. There's so much on the line for them right here. It's weird because they wouldn't mathematically be eliminated, but it seems to, from what I've gathered from the Minnesota side of things, if they lose this game today, they kind of feel like the season's slipping away from them. So it's a lot of pressure.
All right. Lions going to receive the ball first. Minnesota getting ready to kick off. I'll do the play-by-play, as you guys know if you watch the show for any length of time. So, all right, there it is. It's up there. It's out there. It's heading down there. Sailors brings it up to the 20. He's crossing the 25. He's going to be brought down about the 29-yard line. Decent return. Not horrible, not great.
We'll take it.
And here, go ahead, Riley.
No, I just said, we'll take it. I always get nervous about, a fumble or something in those situations. So as long as you don't fumble it, we'll take it.
Goff 5-0 against the Vikings the last 5 games. Hey, let's see if we can make that 6-0. Goff coming out. Let's see the formation. Looks like he's going to pull back. Lions going to the shotgun formation. Gibbs to his left. 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen. And Goff making a line adjustment. He's dropping back. He's going to pass it. And Samuel Laporta hits the 0 button, cuts back. He's going to get the Detroit Lions first down. About a gain of 14 yards. Nice little stutter step and cut back against the defender. Goff beat the blitz, and the blitz got roasted. Something, Riley, I think Minnesota Vikings fans have seen all too much this year. Their blitz has not been very effective.
No, it hasn't. And then I love to see when the Lions will come out and throw the ball. Most teams, it seems like, okay, conservative, just do a handoff on, first down. I know multiple times the Lions come out and they just, pedal to the metal, man. They go. And I think we know that Brian Flores is very aggressive, but Goff has always seemed to be able to stay.
Play action pass back to Laporta. Laporta looks like they're marking for a first down. They have the I formation, brought St. Brown in drag underneath motion, gave Goff an opportunity to really kind of survey what he was going to see, drop back to pass, released Laporta. Laporta gets upfield and falls forward for about an 11-yard gain. Detroit on the move. Under 14 minutes to go in the opening quarter. All right, Goff under center. He's got split receivers, 1 high, 1 low, 2 tight ends to his low, and Gibbs solo in the backfield. Finally going to give Gibbs the ball. He cuts back and up and in. He's going to shake and bake and get about a 5.5 yard gain on first down. Vikings defense, Flores loves to try to confuse quarterbacks. did a good job against Goff when he was in LA. Since Flores has come over to Minnesota, he hasn't really done too much against Jared Goff. All right, Goff under center again. Split receivers, 2 to the high side. Twins, 1 in motion. It is St. Brown coming to the low portion of your screen and gives solo back behind. Goff going to play action pass. He's under some pressure immediately and does a good job just getting rid of it, targeting Jameson Williams. But yes, the pressure got on Goff early, and he was able to step up and just barely get the pass away.
I'll tell you what, it's great to see number 68 out there again. Great to see Decker on the field.
Yeah, just speaking from a coaching standpoint, probably allows you to open up the playbook a little bit more. When he was out, you could see what was limited. All right, 3rd and 4. Goff shotgun trips to the high side. Now quads to the high side with Gibbs. Gibbs coming back. You got one to your low side. It is Sam Laporta who's being shifted in as Goff makes line adjustments, seeing the blitz coming. Coming back, they're sending 6. Goff rolls out of the pocket, trying to extend the play, throws it, and it's going to be out of bounds to St. Brown. The pressure was picked up. Goff tried to escape it, did get away from a sack, and yes, indeed, checked it out of bounds. Looks like the Lions are going to go for it, though, on 4th and 4. Lions, they want to go for it. Not a big surprise, Lions fans anywhere. Dan Campbell, gambling man Dan, he's going for it at we'll say their own 40, the Minnesota 40. Shotgun formation, Gibbs in the backfield, split receivers, 1 high, 1 low. And Goff takes a snap. He's dropping back. He's got a deep pass over the middle. It is Sam Laporta. He shakes, he bakes, he stiff arms, he powers his way all the way down. He gets hit forward. Does he fall in? It is a touchdown. Detroit Lions. Goff on a 4th and 4 goes for 40 to Sam Laporta. And the Lions have a Minnesota Vikings player surrounded in the end zone. Hey, now let them go.
That's outstanding. I'm on 4th and 4. You're Minnesota. You feel like, hey, we're about to stop, get a huge turnover, and the effort from Laporta to get in the end zone. I love this offense. Good opening drive for Detroit.
And I guess Lions fans everywhere are going to be, not questioning Dan Campbell as much this time. We get it. Sometimes fans are not the most happy. Is he actually in? Ooh, I don't know. It's going to be close, but I think it'd be hard to overrule it. Trying to be as fair as I can be. All right, here's the snap. Doesn't matter anymore. The kick is up. It is in. And just like that, lickety split, opening drive of the game, Lions 7 and Minnesota Vikings, nothing. All right, we're going to go to commercial at Fox. Early in the game, Riley, what are you seeing from the Lions offense?
I mean, that's I guess that's how you dial it up, right? Anything that ends in a touchdown, but amazing effort there by Khalif Raymond too, because you saw 3 guys from Minnesota wrapped up on Sam Laporta, and then a 4th guy coming in, and then Raymond comes like a heat-seeking missile to push him in the end zone. Just awesome effort, man. There's no way that you're not extremely confident if you're a player on this offense at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that the Vikings had him stopped at about the 5-yard line, I get he's trying to, power through it, and then you see a host of Lions basically push him into the end zone. Good for them. Victor, laughing out loud, Laporta had 66 yards on that opening drive. Hey, if you're a fantasy owner, you're probably loving that, right, Victor? Laporta power, there you go. I think Davenport made it so I can't watch the game. That could be accurate. He could be working against you there. I got to laughing out loud. I just got done putting on my Laporta jersey, and he scores. You maybe want to make that a priority on every drive. Take it off, put it back on.
Do your part.
Sam Lagoda, I'll take that, Dre Day. See, Pierce can't afford to lose Laporta. Not at all. Not at all. Remember, it's DDI. I have to work 6 days a week. Hey, it could be. Knows that you're not a fan of him, so hey, maybe he's coming after you. Cynthia, woo! TD, exclamation point, 100%, 100%. All right, Lions defense. Who gets the first sack of the game? Duke Crew, let me know your thought in the comments section. Riley, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, obviously would love for Hutch to celebrate this contract with terrorizing his former teammate. But this is going to be exciting, man. This is, I can only imagine the nerves for people in Minnesota again, because if you're a team in position of, you spend a high draft pick on a quarterback, that's a lot of capital you give up. And it's kind of like, man, our hope is, and I thought honestly, that's what the Lions were going to be doing after a couple of years of Goff. Obviously, he turned out to be a lot better than I knew that he was going to be. But yeah, this is big. I mean, Minnesota, they need JJ McCarthy to be a really good player. If he doesn't work out, they might have to kind of reshuffle the deck again, because they set everything up with, having a team really good, paying a quarterback on a rookie deal. They got 3 more years of it, so it's not like this game is, the deciding factor. But if he has a bad game, if the Lions can force him into a bad game, that bodes well for the NFC North, at least from the Lions standpoint.
All right, getting back after the break. Lions about ready to kick this thing. Let's see. Can the defense now rise to the occasion here? Barnes lining up, doing his footwork to get ready. Here's the run up. Here's the kick. And again, to the right corner. Lions definitely target that on all kickoffs. All right, Minnesota's got it at the 25. He's going to shake and bake. He's up to the 35 to the 40. He's still going. He's got room. He's past the 50 to the 40. He's going to be brought down about the 35-yard line of Detroit. A heck of a return for the Vikings, and they are already in scoring position.
Yeah, that helps, JJ.
Unfortunately for the Lions, just multiple people missed lanes there. Vikings, to their credit, do a good job blocking. Now J.J. McCarthy, the former prodigal son of the University of Michigan, hey, Jake Bates delivers a shoulder to slow him down.
Yeah, that was good to see. It's about to hit stick him, I thought.
All right, Vikings starting off with excellent field position at the 36-yard line. Tight formation for the Vikings, one back behind them. Hutchinson in motion, and they're going to hand it off, and it's going to go a big gain. First down. It depends on where they mark it, about a 10-yard gain on first down for the Vikings. Vikings going to advance for a better start offensively from their special teams and their offense.
Yes, he did, Dre Day. You are right.
All right. Here comes McCarthy to the line. Just under 12 minutes to go in the first quarter. Vikings with a 1st and 10 at the Lions' 26-yard line, we'll say. It's going to be another handoff, another shot up the middle. This time, not as much success as he's brought down at basically the line of game. All right, let's see what they do here. Multiple subs coming in for the Lions defense, including what appears to be Alaquin Muhammad. Vikings, as you guys know, we talked about in the pregame show, a lot of injuries on that offensive line, and you more or less have a rookie quarterback out there in shotgun, 3 receivers to the high side, Lions showing man, single high coverage, now a man in motion. McCarthy takes the snap, drops back to throw. He's throwing a deep shot down the deep sideline, and incomplete. Tearing Arnold in the coverage. Addison had a shot at it, but couldn't hold on.
Nice. Love to see Terry out there making plays.
Arnold, first game back. He's got hands on the receiver, but good battle for the ball. Doesn't give him a clean look. McCarthy, not a bad throw for his first one. Might not have been caught inbounds irregardless, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Here we go. 3rd and 10.
Big play right here. Got to stop him, hold him.
All right, trips to your high side. McCarthy making a line adjustment to the low side. Empty backfield for Minnesota on 3rd and 10. Lions showing overload blitz. They do set a blitz. They're going to get it out on a screen pass. He's got good blocking. He's got a first down and a whole lot more. Down to the 10-yard line. Lions sent the blitz. Vikings blocked it well, at least on the opposite side where the screen went, and it was a picked apart first down.
Yeah, that's the one play that if you send a all-out blitz like that you hope doesn't happen. Good play call for Minnesota at that point.
Arnold got taken out. He was the only guy in the area that could have made a play, but he was blocked by a significantly bigger player. All right, 1st and 10 at the 10 for the Vikings, who are threatening to tie this game up. Brian Branch covering the slot. McCarthy looks into the end zone, and it is a touchdown. Jefferson beats Amik. McCarthy wastes no time answering some questions if he can keep this team around offensively. He gets them in the end zone, and just like that, the Vikings strike.
Yeah, good response from Minnesota. And again, that was what I was saying pregame, and it is an obvious thing to say. Throw it to arguably the best receiver in the NFL, not a big surprise. But that's what they needed to do. Hey, Justin Jefferson frustrated, obviously, not getting the end zone. Hey, JJ, you're coming back in. Now we're hitting the ground running. Like, they've been waiting for this for a couple years now, or at least a year. And so no surprise to see him go to number 18 there in the end zone. And good throw and good catch. So, and Minnesota fans are going to eat that up because there's been a lot of talk from Detroit fans that Amik Robertson shut him down. Well, he scored there on Amik, so that's something that they'll hang on to here. But now the Lions offense has a chance to go respond.
Well, we're hoping for the Lions defense to show a little bit better than that. But, hey, give the Vikings some credit. Their special teams gave their offense a short field. McCarthy made a couple plays, including a big pickup on 3rd and 10. Do that weird vitamin drink, Coach. It is one of those. Yes, indeed. 100% there. All right, Hookadoo. Well, the Vikings already have more points than I thought they would get. It happens, man. A lot of game left. Dre still early. No worries. I'll take that. Cecilia dogfight. It currently is all tied up. Dre, this is the rust I was thinking they would have. Yeah, you might be right. Phil, could it be a perennial trap game? Let's hope not. Let's hope not, my friend. Cecilia, come on, defense. Huh? On to the next one. All right, Riley, he saw the defense. He saw Minnesota's offense. What do you think Kelvin Shepard's talking about after that drive by the Vikings?
Yeah, I think it starts obviously with a really good return. That's special teams, so not really, on the defense. And then again, he had to know and expect more of that. That they're gonna. I'm sure Justin Jefferson's gonna get 100 yards today. Like that's what you're getting. So expect more of that in store. But I think you just you don't change anything necessarily from the game plan standpoint. You send an all-out blitz, which is what we talked about pregame on 3rd down and 10. That's exactly what I feel like you should do. Try to get to McCarthy quick. They called a good play and they beat it. And, sometimes a good offense can beat good defense, and they called some good plays there. So I think you just stay the course and, hopefully the offense can go. And that's the strength of this team. It feels like is that, you can really rely and have confidence that they're going to go up and score more points here.
Well, as we all know, Lions fans will be paying attention to the other North games, and as of right now, it doesn't really seem to be any big developments. But, hey, you got to worry about your game before you worry about the other games. So we'll see what shakes out. I'll try to keep you guys up to date, and I'm sure most of you guys will probably just pay attention to the scoreboards on your own. All right, we got a commercial before the Lions come back on the field, and let's see what the Duke crew has to say here. And McCarthy better than Goff? We'll find out. Phil, one-on-one against JJ is a tough job. It is. Yeah, I get last year he did a good job, but, he caught one there as far as, the Vikings wide receiver. All right, getting back to the game here. Short field did hurt us 100% there, Central Scrutinizer. Lions special teams coverage hasn't been the greatest this year, and it did hurt them on that particular drive. Maybe take some of the pressure off JJ at least momentarily. Lions need to come out and answer, though. They're going to get the ball back here momentarily when the Vikings look to kick. Yeah, but any questions about McCarthy, at least early, he's answered them fairly well. All right, Minnesota lining up for the kick. And it is away. They're going to kick to the left side, and it's me. Caught at about the 2-yard line. Sailors past the 10, 15, the 20, 25. He runs into a little bit of resistance as he gets to about the 27, 28-yard line. Lions coming back from the bye. Riley, as you said, maybe have to shake off a little rust. Let's see what they can do this drive.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're reading MCDC quotes on the screen here. I get it. He wants to tighten things up. I mean, every coach, every player, you want every game to be your best game. So move on to the next game, move on to the next play. We got 10-12 to go in the first quarter. Goff under center. Split receivers, one high, one low, one running back behind. It is Montgomery. Montgomery's going to cut back. He's going to make something out of nothing. He's going to fall forward, fighting through a few defenders to get about a 2-yard gain. Lions fans have been kind of clamoring for a little bit more of a balanced offensive attack between the running backs. Well, so far this game, looks like you might get that. First drive went to Gibbs. Second drive appears to be going to Montgomery. 2 receivers down low, one high for Goff, who's under center on a 2nd and 8. Now getting Gibbs rotating out on a screen pass that got diagnosed and is going to lose about 3 yards. Gibbs had lined up as a wide receiver. Apparently, that did not catch Minnesota off guard. And now Goff, this offense, and to face a 3rd and 10 or 11. They're going to call it 10. Yeah. Not a big fan as a coach of throwing behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and it's that balanced attack of Montgomery and Gibbs allows you to kind of control the time of possession. But St. Brown talked about this week, we're looking to have more explosive, less 16-play drives, more 4-play drives. Let's see if they take a shot here.
Shotgun formation, 3 low, 1 high. Receivers now Montgomery to his Goff's right side. Blitz is coming. Flags came out quickly, and we got a false start on Detroit. Flores won that battle, and now it's going to be 3rd and 15 for the Lions. If they didn't throw the flag, Goff was going to get slammed. So, again, trying to overload, try to keep the Lions offense off guard. That's what Flores does. That particular snap went to Flores. Forced the false start. Lions back in the shotgun. 3 low, 1 high, tight end to his high side. Montgomery to his left side. And they're going to throw the quick out screen to J-Mo. Again, behind the line of scrimmage and a loss of gain. About 3-yard loss. Myself, not a fan of throwing behind the line of scrimmage, but apparently John Morton does enjoy it, as he has turned a 2nd and 8 into a 4th and about 15. Maybe a little more than that.
Yeah, that's we talked about it pre-game, right? I'd love to see something quick like that to J-Mo. I just hate that it had to be on 3rd and long, where it was probably a little bit more obvious that that's what they were going to do. And so good defensive stop there from Minnesota. Now we'll see if the Lions defense can go out and match it. Got to get a good punt here.
It is a good punt. What do you expect? But it's going to get a Vikings bounce, and they're going to mark it down about the 36-yard line. Well, Vikings are going to have to go a little farther to gain points this time. Goff and the Lions offense didn't really do much that drive, and in fact, they went backwards. Vikings ball after the break here. Forcing to J-Mo, bad call by the OC. I would probably agree with that. And again, sort of like with, what's his name? Ben Johnson last year, I would talk about it. I'm just not a fan of throwing behind the line of scrimmage, because if the play doesn't run, even somewhat remotely accurate, then you know what? You're probably losing yards, and that seems to happen a lot for us, in my opinion. All right, Dave, what do you got? If you're going to throw behind the sticks on 3rd down, let it be St. Brown and have a few drags, a few defenders across the first down marker. Yeah, I'd rather just run intermediate crossers in front of the line of scrimmage. Excuse me, behind the line, in front of the line of scrimmage, not behind the line of scrimmage. Whatever I'm trying to say. Max 77 forcing the ball to J-Mo already. Yeah, probably not what I would do, but they don't ask me. I'm going to swear the Lions still using Ben Johnson's playbook. They did say they weren't really changing that much. Burger time. Hey, good to see you, man. Stop forcing the ball to J-Mo. Oh, we'll pray on that one for sure. Shake off the rust. Let's go defense. I'll go with that. And Cynthia wants to remind everybody to pull in Aaron Rodgers and just relax. I'm down with that. All right, Andrew, that was not a TD by JJ. He didn't have control of the ball with both feet in bounds, right toe on the line, no ref review on the scrum play. Yeah, the coaches could have done that too if they felt there was something there, for sure. Victor, Lions 3rd down conversion problems continue. I'll go with that. Phil trying to get the speed guys in space. I understand that. Yep. And I think that's a good point by you there, Phil. Dre Day, forcing ball. Yeah, got that one. All right, we're all caught. Our Lions are going to get killed. Let's hope not. That would not be good. There we go. Let's see, Scott. This Broken Heart Blue Jays fan needs the Lions to have a blowout win to heal my heart. Laughing out loud. Let's go! Exclamation point. I like it. We'll try to get that for you. I thought all scoring plays get reviewed yes, they do from up above. So, the only thing I could say is they didn't see anything. The Lions coaching staff didn't decide to challenge, so go with that. Bird time, good to see you, Dan. Hope all is well. Go Lions. Good to see you too, old friend. 100%. Phil told everyone not to underestimate the Vikings. Hey, we can underestimate them, but the players and coaches can't. That would be the problem if they are underestimating them. Max 77, they threw behind the line of scrimmage twice on those downs. Yes, and it did not work out either play. Cedric, what do you got? I don't like John's play calling. Yeah, there are some fans that don't. We'll see what shakes out here. All right, J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings looking to break a 7-7 tie. They've got a 1st and 10. J.J. in the huddle talking about, hey, what are we going to order at halftime for food after the game? All right, here he comes out of the huddle. coming up to the line. He's going to go under center. Strong formation, 2 low, 1 high, 1 running back behind. Man in motion reveals the coverage, and it's going to be handoff up the middle. It's good blocking. It's a first down. It's about a 15-yard gain. Lions rush defense has been non-existent in whatever you want to call this, a quarter drive so far. So far, this much maligned Minnesota Vikings offensive line has won the battle up top. Hutch shifted in too far on that one, gave up the edge, and that was part of the problem. Maybe being a little greedy on that one. 1st and 10 for the Vikings. 7:15 to go in the first quarter, and the Vikings already in positive territory. McCarthy making a line adjustment. He's got 2 to the high side, 1 low side, under center. He takes a snap. It is a play action. He's looking deep. He checks it down underneath. And it's going to be about a 6-yard gain, setting up a 2nd and 4. All right, Bears highlight on the screen for you guys. A little trickeration play and a touchdown pass to Caleb Williams. And the Bears appear to be tying the game against the Cincinnati Bengals. All right, getting back to our game. So far, the Lions defense has not looked great on a 2nd and 4. McCarthy shotgun formation. 1 to those low side, 3 receiver splits. They're going to run it up the middle. Again, no resistance from the Lions run defense as they are owning the Lions front 4. And another first down for the Vikings. Lions fans did not expect the Vikings to be able to run on them. Vikings fans are coming out saying, hey, we can run all over you. We'll have to see if Kelvin Shepard can make some adjustments here, because so far it has been all Vikings.
Yep, started with a couple drives, really good field position, and then their offense is doing like McCarthy just doesn't look like a inexperienced player. He's poised.
Play action pass from McCarthy. He's getting a little pressure from Hutchinson. Now he's got room to operate. He's looking downfield. He unloads it downfield and incomplete. A little high. He was facing some pressure. He massaged the line of scrimmage in order to be able to get that throw off. McCarthy, 3 out of 5. Hutchinson was in pursuit, forced him out of the pocket. Now they're showing McCarthy meditating pre-game on the sidelines. All right, getting back to live coverage, if they'll show it. Anytime. All right, here we go. Shotgun formation. It is going to be 2nd and 10. Lions and man. Base defense still out there. They're going to hand it off up the middle. And the Lions defender takes him down for only a 1-yard gain. Captain Jack lays the hammer down on the Vikings running game and is going to force a 3rd and 9.
Big play. This is a big play. That was a big play. This is a big play coming up, obviously, right here. Stop him.
Dan Campbell looking on. Lions defense looking on, waiting to see the formation from the Vikings. JJ standing up, shotgun formation, 3 receivers, trips high, 1 low. The low is Hutchinson. Now Jefferson in motion, tight trips up high. JJ looking right, looking left, coming back under pressure from Hutchinson. Excuse me, not Hutchinson. From Aiden Hutchinson. Throws it downfield, and you know what? He gets Addison for the first down. Hutchinson had got some backside pressure on him, but he was able to get away, step it, and complete the pass down. And Mollett was, caught chasing in coverage. Hutchinson beat the double team to get there, but unfortunately not before JJ could strike.
That's a tough play, man. I mean, McCarthy, that's a good ball, good catch. I mean, that's, you hate to say it, but if that's if that's how they beat you on a 3rd down.
All right, it is shotgun formation again. Hey, rolling out pass for McCarthy on play action. He's got fired in the back of the end zone. Wide open, TJ Hutchinson. And just like that, the Lions find themselves trailing in this one.
Wow. So McCarthy's 2 touchdowns. So that's again, this is now playing out best case scenario for Minnesota so far.
Unfortunately, the Lions defense seems to be stuck on that play between playing man and zone. At least from what I can see, it looks like some guys were in one, some were in the other, and I do not think that was by design. Just like that, the Lions find themselves trailing the Vikes 14-7 with 4:08 to go in the first quarter. McCarthy, any questions about him? Well, he's answering them. He's already got 2 touchdown passes in this one. How about that? All right, players are rusty from their week off. They will make adjustments later. Let's hope it's not too much later. Cynthia, where the heck is the defense? That's a good question right now. Dre, good run stop. It was. Thomas, question. Did our D stay at home? Where are they at? I can't find them. Yeah, 100%. Trap game? I'll go with that. Sure. All right, well, not the first quarter done, but we are getting down to 4 minutes left. And yes, Riley, how big of a drive is this for the Detroit Lions offense?
Yeah, I think it's about as big of a drive, as big as a drive could be in the first quarter, right? I mean, it's no time to panic, right? But the defense doesn't look great so far, so you figure that's got to change here a little bit. At some point, they're going to start, putting up a little bit more resistance, you'd think. But yeah, you've got to go out here and have a good drive. Can't do a 3-and-out like you just had before. Got to be clean on execution. And if you've got something dialed up to have an explosive play, like Amon-Ra said during the week, we want more 4 or 5 play scoring drives. Now would be a really good time to call whatever plays get those to you. Let's see St. Brown. I don't think he's got a target yet, even in this game.
Well, it's what we can say is against the Buccaneers, Lions had an outstanding defensive performance. This game, not so much. McCarthy, I don't know if I've seen anything spectacular out of them, but the run game has been strong for the Vikings, and they've allowed, along with the special teams, McCarthy to face some favorable situations. Lions offense going to have to come out here and equal the score. Otherwise, this one could start rolling away from us. Thomas, Dre Day, Vikes had 10 days off too. Exclamation point. We're getting manhandled right now. No excuses. I'll go with that. Yeah. I mean, they have the I guess you say the pseudo bye by playing on Thursday night and then coming into this one. But the Lions are going to have to do something here. They're going to have to score points, and they're going to have to figure out a way to go ahead and get some stops. Riley O, is it Gary? What do you got? The other teams have good players too. Detroit will be fine. Coach Rock might be interesting come Tuesday. I concur. Cody, JJ going to play amazing day. It always happens to us. Might be accurate. Dre Day, other teams play better with rest. The Lions might not be one of those teams that plays well with rest. Thomas, we have talent. We're not playing like it. Exclamation point. Body language tells all. Well, let's hope we wake up here. All right, coming back. Yeah, you see Hutchinson, and the fact that you got 2 guys open in the same space. I'm not sure who that's on, but, man, the center of the field had 2 Vikings wide open. It was really who do you want to throw to? Is what it is. You got to move on to the next play, 71 said. Here's the kickoff, and Detroit's going to receive it at about the 3-yard line. He's at the 10, 15, the 20, 25, and again, comes down about the same area. This time they're going to mark him at the 30-yard line. Perhaps not Jacob Saylor's, maybe not his biggest strength returning kickoffs. There's just not much explosion there, nor does it seem like he has much cutbacks. But, hey, he holds on to the ball, so that's a plus. All right, Lions, what do you do here on offense? Down 14-7, 4:04 to go in the first quarter. Goff in the shotgun formation. Williams to the high side, now rotating down to the low side along with St. Brown. Gibbs is back in at running back. Flores showing zone coverage in the back half. Goff drops back. He's under pressure, and he's going to go down.
That's tough. Not the play you wanted to start the drive, obviously.
Goff looked left, didn't like what he saw. Flores, once again, delayed blitz of the middle. Gibbs had to pick one of 2 guys to go after to pick up, and unfortunately, he can't block them both. Lions had a miscommunication between Ratledge and Sewell, which helped with that, as both of them blocked one guy instead of picking up the other blitzer. Lions now in a 2nd and 16, Goff under center, 2 high, 2 low with 2 tight ends. Laporta in motion, and they're going to pitch it out to Gibbs on the 2nd and 16, and he's going to power forward to get, I'll say, 8 yards. Make it about a 3rd and 8, roughly. Miscommunications on the offensive line have not helped the Lions offense at times this year. That sack on Goff was definitely one of them. 3rd and 9 situation for Detroit in what would feel like a bigger first down opportunity if they can get it. They can get this here, good to keep the drive going, keep Minnesota's offense off the field. Shotgun formation, 2 low, 1 high, 1 running back to Goff's low side. Overload shown by the Vikings. They got 1 high safety. They're going to bring some heat. They back out of it. Goff looking, throwing, catching is Amon-Ra St. Brown for the Detroit Lions. First down. About a 16-yard gain.
What do you do, Coach Dan, when you need a play? Go to 14. Love it.
If it was me, I'd be going to him every play until they obviously took him away.
Yep.
But here's what it is. Either way, you're going to keep this drive going, and that's exactly what the Detroit Lions need at this point. Momentum is clearly shifted to the Vikings. Lions, need to do something about it. They're at midfield at the 50-yard line. 14-7, 1st and 10. Tight end and Gibbs in the backfield. J-Mo, J-Powell low, and St. Brown high on your screen. It is going to be a run up the middle. He's going to shake. He's going to bake. He's going to fall forward for about 3.5 yards. Gibbs didn't have a lot of room. Got about as much as he could out of it. Sun God. Yeah, it is. 100% there. 100%, my friend. Yay, Amon-Ra. You got to like him. Glad we got him. Passer ratings. Hey, under McVay, he was Goff was a 94.1. Under Ben Johnson, 102. And then with our current offense coordinator, John Morton, he's even better. All right, Goff under center, 2 high, and now he's got a tight end to his high side. Gibbs in the backfield. They're going to play action pass. Gibbs gets destroyed on the pass. Pass rush pickup. He's going to feel that one as he got tenderized a little bit. Got Goff off his center, and yes, Goff threw the incomplete pass. One of the differences between Montgomery and Gibbs is Montgomery physically is better against blitz pickup, where Gibbs, just nothing against him. It's just he's not going to block most linebackers that effectively.
Yeah, that's a tough task. Yep. It's third and 6.
Trips to the high side, 1 to the low side, Gibbs to his right side, 3rd and 6. Again, overload blitz situation being shown by the Vikings, trying to confuse that younger Lions offensive line, and Goff once again is going down. The Lions interior offensive line and running backs are not picking up the blitz. Looks like Flores has figured out that, hey, Gibbs got a lot of strengths. Picking up linebackers on blitzes isn't one of them. I'm the moron on YouTube who can figure this out. And yes, he is getting owned, but he's not the only one. You're seeing Glasgow, bad footwork there, bad hand placement, and I would put that one on Glasgow.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a perfect time, and you see Flores' reaction to that. That's a perfect time to call the play. That's a reaction of somebody calling a play, being confident in what Detroit's going to run, and it works out perfectly for Minnesota. So Minnesota's had a great first quarter, so we've got to see the Lions defense now step up and get a stop.
Flag, I believe it's on Minnesota Vikings for holding. We'll see. Looks like he pulled the Lions gunner down. Detroit gets a good call there. They'll back up the Vikings a little bit more. As Minnesota looking to take the ball and command this game a little bit more. They put some pressure on the Lions' young offensive line, even though that last one, I guess you could probably throw a Glasgow, just bad footwork. And Gibbs has had some problems with blitz pickup in this one. All right, Dre Decker is playing, but while Graham and Tate couldn't follow up the block, no, it's so far the offensive line has not been great. Rufus, this is a pathetic showing so far. Is Decker playing? Yes, he is. Tremere, let's left side, strong side. We'll see what happens. Either way, the Lions need to find a defense right now because so far they've been a little limited on the defense. Is Kirby Joseph needed? Well, he's not coming in this game, so it doesn't matter. All right, McCarthy out of a shotgun on this one. Vikings at their, we'll say, on 7-yard line. We'll round up here for him. Lions showing man-to-man. Justin Jefferson in man-to-man, but it's going to be a run up the middle. Lions rush defense shows up this time, thankfully, and gives up only about a yard, maybe a yard and a half. The Vikings run another play here, or are they going to take it down to the end of the first quarter? We'll soon know. Looks like they're going to go hurry up here. 2nd down and 9. 8 in the quarter. McCarthy making a line adjustment. 4 on the play clock.
Trying to get us to jump.
And he's going to let it go.
Yep.
That will be the end of the first quarter. Vikings ball and the score, the lead, 14-7. And JJ having a little conversation with Terry Arnold in a polite way, not a rude way. Decaf. Hey, I might need some decaf after this game. Cody, horrible so far. Defense better step up. I agree with you, man. Just from an offensive line standpoint alone, you know what Flores is going to bring, Riley. He's done it throughout his career, and this Lions offense does not look ready for it.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we've seen the success that Goff has had against Flores, and I'm sure that Lions offense is going to adjust and be fine. I think the area of concern for me, though, is the third down conversion. You're looking at it. Minnesota's 2 for 2. They had the big one to Addison that kept that drive alive, and then either a play or two later, they get a touchdown. Lions are 1 through 4 on third down through one quarter. And of course you love the fourth down call, just like you said earlier. You're a genius if you go for it and it ends in a touchdown. But that's a scary proposition to think about if they didn't convert that. But third down efficiency for the Lions, 25%. It's not going to be good enough. You have to be better on third down.
The only thing I'll say, seeing these JMO comments, is if you got 2 guys on you, it's going to be hard to get open. Watching Flores' defense, they're doubling JMO. So let that be a thought in your process when throwing shade his way. Not many guys get open against 2 guys very often, especially if you're talking 2 or 3 seconds. All right, Rock, what do you got? Did I miss something? Did Laporta retire after the first series? Sure got away from him. I think it's more what Flores is doing. I know we all want people to get scores, but are they getting open? Are they allowed to get open? Maybe that's another thing. Sun God is at it again. They're going to need a whole lot more of him, 100% there. All right, well, we've got a commercial before we're back on D and see what shakes out here, but Lions defense needs to stop in the worst way possible. Yeah, straight A and Shep 2, exclamation point. Rock, time for quick passes to beat the blitz. Man, we haven't done well with a lot of things. To me, Riley, just, again, not to beat a dead horse, but it just doesn't feel like the Lions came in very prepared for this game, for this defense. And I'm not seeing anything out of Flores. Maybe you guys are in the Dew crew, but I'm not seeing anything out of him that he hasn't done throughout his career. So it doesn't seem like he's catching him off guard with new stuff. The one exception I would say is he is sending mid blitzes anytime Gibbs is in the backfield on obvious passing downs and making Gibbs have to make a choice. And so far, Gibbs is not looking like he's great at blitz pickup against linebackers.
Oh, absolutely. And for Minnesota, you'd love nothing more than the Lions to be considering having Gibbs off the field in those situations, which, if Morton's not, you can't take him off the field. You're just going to have to patch things up to see if you can get some, better blocking for Goff. Because, Minnesota's bringing it. They're going to make Goff beat him.
In man coverage out of the they get him into the end zone. Oh, McCarthy gets away. He's still going to be a sack. This Derek Barnes brings him down. Muhammad Hutchinson, amongst others, got initial pressure out of the shotgun on the long pass, or a long pass attempt. Muhammad flushed him out. Hutchinson nearly got him. They trip over each other. McCarthy tucks it, runs, but thankfully Derek Barnes brings him down. Lions needed that sack in a big way, and now it is 3rd and 12. Kevin O'Connell's pointing at the ground, less than happy about something. And probably having some choice words for that sideline official. All right, McCarthy out of the shotgun once again. 3rd and 12 after the sack. McCarthy making a line adjustment. Lions showing shell zone coverage. They're going to try to keep everything in front of them and make him throw it underneath. A little bit of pressure, and Hutchinson just drops the ball. I don't think he would have got a first down, but he would have probably made it more interesting. And instead, Detroit Lions defense stands on up.
There we go.
Barnes, good thing we got him.
Yep.
Riley, how big is that stop there for the Lions D?
That's huge. You just feel like you just got really good news is kind of the feeling that you have here. Because again, you look at the total yards in the first quarter, Minnesota had 101, Detroit had 84. So, if our defense is playing that bad, but you've only given up 16 more yards, it's been the field position that they've had and then them converting on third down. And that's what you wanted to see with that drive, the penalty to back them up after what would have been a punt return. McCarthy scores the first 2 possessions for them, but you did it again on short fields. Can you drive a longer distance?
Raymond shakes and bakes, gets it down to the 35. It was a short punt, decent return. Lions in scoring position, and some Lions and Vikings having a little bit of massaging of their gums, chewing at each other. This one might be getting heated as we go to commercial.
This NFC North football, man. Love it. Love the rivalry. Love the tension. This is fun. It was a lot of fun.
Hutchinson maybe on the payoff. I think Victor had some money placed against him. It was going that hoping that Hutchinson would drop one, and maybe Victor got a winning wage against that one. Former Lion help us out there. Chad, was JMO not cemetarily covered last year? I don't know the coverages last year. Similarly covered, excuse me, Chad. Let's see. Egon, JJ is very slippery. He's been impressive. Drede Hutchinson, guys, got butterfingers. Let's hope he keeps it. Cody, come on. Good return here, please. It was pretty good. Hey, we're already in, I would say, field goal range. Drede, way to go, DB. Yeah, to your point, Drede, the sack by Barnes, the near sack or flush by Muhammad and Hutchinson. Give a lot of credit to the Lions secondary because you could see McCarthy looking downfield, and he did not have any easy reads for someone to dump it off too short or deep downfield. So credit to the Lions defense secondary for holding up there. Defender of the Vikings, fast and aggressive, must stop. Okay, well, let's hope we do stop him. Jim, thank you, Barnes. I concur. Chaos Money, Boss, Bag Boy, we're fine. Lions are awake now, just getting adjusted to the time. Hey, maybe they're still on the old time. Jim was open a lot, and last year, not as much emphasis on him. Could be. Trim River, let's go, boys! Exclamation point. Coach Rock, think Hutch just figured out he has to smoke JJ to get him down. All right, I'm down with that. Let's hope he does to get him down. Lions have gotten some pressure on JJ McCarthy. What do you think about McCarthy's performance so far?
You can't do anything but tip the hat to him. I mean, he's thrown some really good passes. And he just, again, he doesn't look like a young, inexperienced player. 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. Yeah, you could have made an argument that if he had 2 touchdowns through the air throughout the whole game, that would have been a successful game. So great performance from McCarthy so far, probably as good as you could have expected if you're a Vikings fan. But that being said, the Lions are only down 7, and now it's our turn to have some good field position to start a drive.
Well, let's see what the John Morton comes up with here, but his team needs to score in the worst way possible. I know somebody was saying something about D. Monty needs to be out there. So far, this is going to be drive number 4. They have rotated them every drive. So, all right, they're showing players in different outfits for Halloween. Hutchinson looking ready to focus, I would guess. All right, here we go. Lions in good scoring position already to start this one. It's going to be 1st and 10. We'll just say 14 minutes to go before halftime. Goff under center to the low side. St. Brown rotating to the high side. You got David Montgomery in the backside. And they're going to play action pass. There's going to be a pass. Hey, you wanted Sam I am back in the game. He's back in the game. Going to be brought down after about a 5-yard gain. Maybe 4.5. Laporta. He's Sam I am. He has had a pretty good start to this game. Lions going fast here. Up to the line of scrimmage already. J-Mo to the high side, St. Brown low side, and they're going to hand it off to Montgomery. Montgomery's going to power through, bounce off a defender, going to be brought down about a half-yard short, I believe, of the next first down. Both very different running backs. It'll be interesting to see, does Flores, if the opportunity presents itself, does he blitz as heavily up the middle on the Lions offensive line when D. Monty's in there at running back. All right, 3rd and 1. Vikings crowding. It's going to be another handoff. Montgomery is going to get the first down, I believe, depending on where they mark him. Let's see. It's going to be real close. He didn't clearly get it, but based on where the line judges are, I'd say yes, they got it. That's a big first down for Detroit. Needs to keep the defense off the field for a little bit. Let those guys, kind of recover a little bit.
Yeah, and it's got the tide of or a feeling of maybe a more Montgomery game because, again, exactly for what you just said, you got to keep Minnesota's offense off the field, give your defense some rest. So 5 yards here, 5 yards there for Montgomery.
All right, Lions stay in tight formation. Twin tight ends in. They got him on the high side. It's going to be a pitch out to David Montgomery. He's going to power forward for about a yard gain. Good wrap-up tackle there by the Vikings. Montgomery had a little bit of a cutback, but could not get away from the first linebacker to him. It's going to set up a 2nd and 8. They're going to give him 2 on that one.
Jamison touchdown coming up.
Ford Field, a little quiet. Not as loud as we anticipated, as they're a little bit shocked at this one. Goff in a shotgun. He's got 2 low, plus a tight end. Montgomery rolls out. and he's breaks one tackle for a would-be sack, throws it out to Montgomery, who breaks the tackle in the backfield. He's going to go forward, and he's going to somehow turn a sack into about a 14-yard gain.
Outstanding. That's outstanding.
They had Goff dead to rights. Goff, not known to be mobile, but you know what? He dipsy-doos and duck-caroos. I don't know what he want to say. He throws a lame duck pass to Montgomery. Montgomery jukes the defender out and then powers through a couple other guys. Turns about a 6-yard loss into a 16-yard gain. How about that?
That's a key play. That's a key play.
Lions now first in, we can more or less say gold. It's 1st and 10. They could still technically get a first down before the end zone. But they got 10 yards to go to pay dirt. Tight formation. Goff quick snaps to St. Brown, who's going to be brought down after a nice catch. You're going to call it about a 9-yard gain. That'll set up about 2nd and a yard to pay dirt. Lions 1 yard away from tying this one up. One heck of a quick snap. Caught the Vikings napping a little bit. Lions going quick to the line. They're not letting the Vikings make as many defensive adjustments and subs. Jumbo formation for the Lions. Vikings bring everybody to the line. And they're going to hand it off to Montgomery, who's going to be dropped for about a 3-yard loss. Lions offensive line got bullied balled into the backfield, and that's going to set up a 3rd down now. The Vikings beat the snap, pushed everybody back, and yes, instead of 2nd and 1, it's now, well, they're going to say 3rd and 1, I guess. I thought he lost a few yards. But on the screen, they got 3rd and 1. Man, that is a very long one. I'll call it 2. Shotgun formation for Goff. Looks like there's something on the field. You got 1 high, 3 low. Laporta in motion. Goff got isolation with, almost had it to St. Brown, but St. Brown's right hand couldn't get around. And it's going to be 4th down for the Lions. What do you do here? St. Brown, nice move. In and out. A game of inches. He gets the left hand on it, but can't get the right around to secure the ball. And instead, it's 4th down for Detroit. The Lions going to go for it here. Vikings. What are we going to do here if I'm the Vikings? Tight formation for Goff and the Lions. And we've got refs coming out of the field. Timeout, Minnesota.
Some good quarterback play in this game so far. I love that. Both those play calls, St. Brown, the one that looks like it's a fake handoff and then a quick throw. I like the play call on 3rd down there, throwing to 14. 4th and 1.
There's a difference from last year. The O-line would have pushed the D-line into the end zone. I agree with you, Victor. I mean, it's no disrespect to the guys we have out there, but, is there a difference from Glasgow to Frank the Tank? Yeah. Zeitler to, the rookie that we have out there. In Ratledge, sure. There's a difference. And then you could even say to a certain degree Mahogany from Glasgow. So see what happens, but you can't do anything about it. They're no longer here. You got to move on to the next guys here. And this is a big 4th and 1 for Detroit. Does Crazy Legs Goff run it into the end zone? We'll find out momentarily.
It's a big play. Big play. 4th and 1.
Lions can still technically get a 1st down here. Dan Skipper in there. They're going to power it with David Montgomery, and I think he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. They brought in Dan Skipper, used him in motion, and you can see the second layer of the Vikings defense followed Dan Skipper, thinking it was going to be a little bit of a pull-out tug to the lower portion of your screen. Instead, they just went up the middle, and Dave Montgomery found pay dirt. Riley, how big is that score for Detroit?
That's huge. And I'm texting my buddy Caleb, who sent me photos. He is at Ford Field. He's at the game. And he's a huge David Montgomery fan. He's got his jersey, and he's just, we're talking about Gibbs before the game. And I always feel like, man, I should overlook this. This makes sense that it would be Montgomery game, especially now, given the way that the game's going. You needed to have a long, sustained drive there. And there's no way on that, when they call a timeout, if you're trying to get Dan to reconsider, obviously Minnesota probably called that to adjust their defense, but you're not going to have him reconsider and second guess himself and settle for 3 points. And you just love the confidence just to go for it on 4th and just say, go get into the end zone and impose your will. So that's a huge score. We've got this is a great game. Absolutely great game so far.
It is, and we're all tied up with 9:39 to go in the first quarter, 14-14. A lot of Lions fans were thinking this was going to be a cakewalk. The Vikings apparently had other plans. A lot of games still left, though. All right, while there's a brief commercial, I'll be right back.
Perfect. Let me see here, guys, if I am live still. Can you guys hear me? My feed's a little bit behind all of a sudden. Where did my window go? Okay, let's see here. Dre Day, I was wrong. Good job, Demo. Cynthia with the smiley face. Ken Ross, enough of getting dominated at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Shake that rust and get back to business. Good comment, Ken. Yep, we got you, Hokey Doo. Thank you, Cody. Yep. Okay, awesome. Let's see. Cynthia, run it. You should be an offensive coordinator. Good call. Bo Booth, new guys on the O-line have room to grow. They do, for sure. But more reason for optimism than not with the younger players. Victor says there is a difference. Coach Dan read that one. And Cody said, need this. I'd probably take the 3. Stop gambling. We should win in the long run. Or we should. Yeah, I think I got you there, Cody. Yeah, it would have been would have felt like a medicine shot right there to get some points. But obviously, this is just Dan Campbell. He doesn't change his MO. And I love that they got the end zone for that.
It's the time of possession slightly towards Lions. First down, 7-7 apiece. Total yards now slightly in favor of the Detroit Lions. Rushing yards about even. Penalties even. Total return yards fairly close. Lions have, 29 more total plays. Lions have 9 more total plays, but they've also had one more drive. So yards per play, 6.5 for the Vikes, 5 for the Lions. No turnovers for either team, although hopefully Lions defense can change that one quickly by taking the ball away from the Minnesota Vikings. All right. You're all tied up 0-0. Let's see what the Lions can do to maybe grab control of this game now. Showing Aiden Hutchinson and J.J. McCarthy on the screen here. All tied up. Aaron Andrews reporting for Fox Sports.
This is kind of nice, Coach Dan, because you are a full play ahead of me at all times. And in past when I've done this, I've been ahead of whoever I was doing the show with. So don't have to reserve my reactions as much as I used to.
The advantage of having the digital antenna is getting it about as fast as you really can get it.
Yeah.
All right, here's the kickoff once again to the right side, and the Vikings, about a yard deep, is going to bring it out. He's at the 20. He's at the 25. He's going to run into some resistance at about the 26-yard line as the Lions, special team showed up that time, brought him down. Showing something here. Yeah, Hutchinson did get to McCarthy. Pushed him down, gave him a little massaging there. Doesn't seem like McCarthy was really too worried about it. So while they're showing the replay, who knows? All right, 1st and 10 for the Vikings at about the 26-yard line. Vikings 3 and 4, Lions 5 and 2. Vikings tight formation, 2 receivers high, 1 low, 1 back behind. Receiver now in motion to the low side, and they're going to do a rollout to Justin Jefferson. McCarthy's going to hold on, and Lacey gets to him, brings him down, but not before he gets about a foot of gain. So it won't be a sack, but he did limit the play for him. Good coverage by the Detroit Lions secondary, because you know what? McCarthy, that's a design rollout. He's looking all around for somebody. He's not able to find anybody to give it to, and eventually he just has to tuck it and turn something into nothing. Or how about nothing into something for about a foot gain? They're going to still call it 2nd and 10. McCarthy under center, tight formation. Early on, it's looking like 1 high, 1 low receivers for you. There we go. Now we got 2 low receivers, 1 back behind. What's he going to do? He's going to hand it off. He's going to cut back. And all of a sudden, there are whistles. And they're going to move on back. Derek Barnes is pointing at the guilty subject for the Vikings. And it looks like they're going to turn 2nd and 10 into 2nd into 15 with 8:44 to go in the opening half.
Nice. You got to capitalize on this. The first play was defended well. And if they move back here, make them pay.
Yeah, Phil, to your point, I was shocked that they didn't throw the ball to JJ with no disrespect to Alex Anzalone, but that's a mismatch. They should have got the ball to him. All right, 2nd and 15. McCarthy in a shotgun formation. Too low, 2 running backs behind, 1 receiver high. To me, it is play action pass. They're going to swing it out to one of the backs. He's got a whole lot of room. He's got a ton of room. He's got a first down and more, a whole lot more. Miscommunication by the Lions, and that gave up way too many yards, about 30 yards on 2nd and 15. Man-to-man coverage, and somebody forgot something. It looks like Alex Anzalone decided to switch and did not let his partner know that, hey, we're switching who we're covering. I don't know, but using basketball terminologies there, somebody got picked and nobody picked up the picker.
That's tough. Would have been a great time to stop him there, obviously, to get the ball back. But
McCarthy in a shotgun, 1st and 10. 2 high, 1 low, receivers, 2 backs again. And he drops back to pass. He's got a little pressure on him, throws it underneath again. Going to get about a 3-yard gain. Justin Jefferson on that one should set up about a 2nd and 7. There is a flag on the play. Against Detroit, says McCarthy. Let's see what happens. Personal foul. That's on Hutchinson.
late hit, is that what they're saying?
We'll have to see it. I did not see it. I was following the ball on that one. Boy, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I don't know. But hey, it is what it is. You got to move on to the next play. Vikings at the 30. First down, play action pass. Little bit of pressure on him. He's going to throw it underneath to Jefferson, who's got a first down once again. McCarthy, if there are any questions about his ability, he's looked pretty good in this one. And the Minnesota Vikings, who offensively have been struggling a little bit this year, are not struggling this game. Branch underneath got there late to take away the out route.
Be a great time for a play to be made defensively. Somebody get a pick, somebody knock a ball loose.
Vikings are going to run the ball. Again, Detroit defense gets to it this time, limits him to about a half-yard gain. Hutchinson got blown up on the run block attempt. That's going to bring up a second, and we'll just say 9.5.
What I'm going to be curious to see is if they get in a short situation, Kevin O'Connell, will he go for it on fourth like Dan Campbell does? He did last year.
Yeah, I get what they're saying about the leg whip on it, but I would counter, is he being thrown or pulled to the ground? But he's probably not. I would say that Aiden did kick J.J. McCarthy on that one. Is what it is. It is 2nd and 9. McCarthy in a shotgun, calling for the ball. He's got 2 high, Lions in man-to-man. Hutchinson in pursuit. He's going to force that ball to come out hot, and the Lions are going to limit that to, again, about a half-yard gain. 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8, depending on how you're marking.
Okay, here we go.
Flag was nothing. I mean, it is what it is. So you got to move on from it. I don't disagree with the call. I just don't love the call.
Yep, I feel the same. Ooh, did they get that off in time?
3rd and 9. Detroit's defense has got a golden opportunity here to hold the Minnesota Vikings from getting another touchdown. McCarthy in a shotgun. He's got 3 to the high side. Lions showing man. He's got 1 tight end down low along with the running back. Hutchinson in pursuit. He's going to get after him. He's getting double teamed. It's going to be a sack. Jack Campbell bully balls the running back into McCarthy. They're going to throw a flag, but I think it's got to be holding on the Vikings running back for pulling Campbell to the ground.
That's twice that Campbell stepped up on 3rd down.
We're talking about it with the Vikings linebackers, and you know what? This is the same thing. It's just a math problem. The mass of Jack Campbell, who's a big dude. He's 6'5" and like 250 pounds. He might even be a shade more than that. He just ran through the would-be block attempt by the Vikings running back. This is going to set up a 4th and 23, 50-yard attempt on the field goal. It's up there, it's out there, it's in there. The Vikings regain the lead at 17-14 with 4:42 to go. All right. Jack Campbell gets the sack. Lions defense holds him to 3. Riley, what are your thoughts on the Lions D so far?
Yeah, I mean it's not an A grade defensively, but on that drive, I say maybe B minus. You just feel good that you held him out of the end zone, and what I'm curious to see, because we saw it in the last game of the regular season last year when the NFC Championship was on the line, or the NFC North Championship. Kevin O'Connell came out and he's going for it on 4th because he knows I'm playing Dan Campbell in the Lions. I've got to you can't do checkers while the other guy's doing chess. You have to match them. And so would have been interesting to see what they would have done. We've already seen the Lions go for it on 4th in this game, but obviously after that huge loss, you're not going for it on a 4th and 23. So you held them to 3. That's good. That's something to build off of. Now, 4 minutes here. Got to have a long sustained drive because Minnesota gets the ball to start the third quarter. So ideally we go up and chew as much time as we can here, get some points before the halftime. Feeling pretty good. Minnesota came to play and should have expected. I didn't think that this would be an easy game. And in fact, I predicted 31-17. Well, Minnesota's got their 17 points now. So I may have underestimated their offense.
Looking at the scoreboard here, for those who may not be aware, right now the Panthers have the ball with 2 minutes, 22 seconds to go, and they are up 7-3 over the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field. That's impressive. Some other scores for you while we're on the commercial break. Let me load it on up. Colts are tied with the Steelers 7-7. Broncos have the ball, but they are trailing the Texans 6-0. Chargers are leading right now early in the second quarter. 8 minutes and 37 seconds to go. They're up. The Chargers are up 17-14, but the Titans have the ball. You already know the Vikings-Lions score. Won't bore you with that one. 49ers have the ball, and they're up 14-7 over the Giants. I already talked to you about the Panthers and Green Bay Packers. Bears are now up on the Bengals 14-10. Bengals have the ball. And then Falcons, Patriots up 21-7. So that's your quick roundup there. Just so you guys know, at halftime, I will take a little bit of a break. I'll go, grab something to eat real quick, grab something to drink. You guys can do whatever before we get back on air for the second half. But Lions now down by 3. Riley, based on what you've seen on the Flores' defense, what are you doing this half or this drive here?
Yeah, it seems, Montgomery's kind of got the hot hand, and if there's a player in Detroit Lions history that you feel like you feed the hot hand when it's hot, to me, I don't know anybody better than David Montgomery. Just keep riding him, and again, St. Brown's talked about those quick, shorter drives, but I'd love a long, extended drive here that chews up some time. Obviously, you don't want to give Minnesota a chance to score before halftime. So, but we still have yet to see the Jamison reception down the field. It's just been Laporta and Montgomery so far, and then St. Brown obviously need him to get some more opportunities here. But good quarterback play from both sides so far. That
Sailors up to the 29-yard line on the kickoff. But to your point, yes, Lions receivers, just from what I can see on the limited screen that I have here, you can see where Flores is doing everything he can to force the ball to go to someone else other than Lions wide receivers. You see a lot of shadow coverage, somebody underneath, somebody over the top. So they're committing 4 guys basically sidelines. Almost think like a Tampa 2, except you're manipulating one of the safeties more to the center of the field. Vikings backing off a little bit this time. Goff under center. You got split receivers, one high, one low, and now Gibbs is back in. St. Brown motions in. They do hand it off to Gibbs, and he's going to lose 3 yards.
Jeez.
As nobody blocked Hargrave, and he almost took the handoff from Goff. Looks like, he just went right past Mahogany and Decker. Mahogany had the initial block coverage. Decker slid over while St. Brown helped, and unfortunately, Lions are now facing a 2nd and 12. Shotgun formation. Goff making another line adjustment. Vikings backing off. They show a delayed blitz. They do delayed blitz. Hot read goes to St. Brown, who's going to catch it, and depending on where they mark him, I think he's going to be about, say, 7, maybe 6 yards short of the line of game. Penei Sewell is currently on the sideline, they're saying, or like during the sideline, he got poked in the eye. Yes, and you can see it. He's got a pretty big red bruise right below his left eye. He took a finger to it. He's back on the field now on a key 3rd and 4. Too high, too low. Shotgun formation. Gibbs in there. Vikings going to blitz, and they block the pass attempt. That is Harrison Smith knocks it down on 3rd and 4. Goff threw it right in his direction. Harrison, Lions are lucky he didn't hold on to it because he might have walked that one in. Right now, as far as the cat and mouse game between Flores and John Morton, in my opinion, unfortunately, Morton is not winning. He is losing. Flores is doing a very good job, and right now, John Morton does not have answers to this problem.
Yeah, it's been a really good first half for Minnesota. Oh, and you're right. Now I'm now seeing that. Yeah, if Harrison caught that he's walking in. Got to hold him here because he can't give him points and the ball to start the second half.
You know, and what I'm about to say, I'm just going to say from a coaching perspective. One thing I learned a long time ago as a coach is, I'm trying to remember even where I was coaching at, there was a coach I used to work for, Ron Welch. He's a Hall of Famer. And when I talked to the coaches why they would hate going against his teams, because they could throw anything at him, and he'd been coaching so long, he already had the answers for it. It was hard to ever catch him off guard with something. My opinion, looking at John Morton and just a lot of his base structures here, he's playing into Brian Flores' strengths here. And that's a problem as a coach. You, especially an offensive coach, you've got to force the defense to adjust to you. And right now, I don't think John Morton's doing much to adjust to anything. He's not even putting him in unfavorable situations here. Again, that's just my opinion. Doesn't have to be your guys' opinion here.
No, I think you're absolutely right. You hear it, right? I'll start this and you can finish it. Take what the defense gives you, right? But what you got to do is make them give you what you want. So for all the talk about, I told JMO I failed him. We got to get it. I think he's had 1 target so far. Again, it's the way that the game plays out, but this can't hold. You've got to, there still has to be some tricks in the bag for the offense. And that was not a good time to have a 3-and-out.
Yeah. And it just, it's easy to sit up here versus when you're coaching or whatever. And some of you guys know it. Some of you coach, some of you have coached or played or whatever. It's easy to be comfortable at home or whatever and say what you should do or shouldn't do, etc. The only thing I can tell you is anytime Gibbs is on the field, Flores is bringing the heat. He's pressing the Lions. He's double teaming the receivers. He's committing 4 guys to 2 guys to take away those reads from Goff. And he's now saying, hey, where's that blitz coming? Which one of your tight ends is going to be open? Goff's got to make a lot of reads. In my opinion, I would spread out the tight ends more and say, hey, you can do that all day long, but I'm going to put these tight ends out wide towards the sidelines. If you're going to leave them wide open, great. If you're not, then I can easily tell who's going to pick up, who's going to blitz, who's not. But at least as of yet, that hasn't happened. Getting yesterday, the Trim Reavers, same goes for quitting smoking and drinking. It could be true. I didn't catch all that conversation, so I don't know. Burger time. Offense is horrible on 3rd down. It's not existent on 3rd down. I'll go with that. What seems to be the officer problem? You've heard my thoughts on it. We need a turnover. Let's hope that Minnesota gives us one. Have something wrong with his eye? Yeah, he took a finger to the eye. That's why I would almost encourage anybody at the line of scrimmage, running back, defensive lineman, offensive lineman, wear the shields. All right. Here we go. Lions defense needs to rise to the occasion again. 1st and 10. They're at the 25-yard line. McCarthy under center. Sends a man in motion. Tight formation. Looked like a false start on the Vikings. And they're going to say, yes, it is a false start on the Vikings. At least I'm not the only one who saw it.
Interception would be phenomenal.
If Johnny Moe can figure out a blitz, we are good. Got to figure this out. Yeah, you got to put the blitz in bad situation. So at least that's my opinion. Doesn't have to be anybody else's opinion. 1st and 15 with 3:13 to go before the half. Vikings. Let's see what they do here. Shotgun formation, 1 high, 2, 3 low. You got a running back to McCarthy's left side, low snap. Going to be a handoff. He's got a little room to run. Campbell brings him down, though, after about a 5-yard gain. Let's say it'll be about 2nd and 10. Tom Brady making some calls. I can't really hear what he's saying, though, over me talking to you guys. So apologies about that. 2nd and 9, 6-yard gain on 1st down for the Vikings. Well, if that's true, then I would just say anytime most of the money goes on somebody, then bet against that, and you'll probably win if that is correct. All right. Shotgun formation again on 2nd and 9. Lions really backing off Amik Robinson. Blitz coming and hit as he throws. He completes it, though. Jack Campbell hits McCarthy hard, and there's going to be a flag on the play. Let's see what the penalty is. Did he hit him in the head? Roughing the passer, they're saying. I'm not. Where's the roughing? What did he do? He hit him. What are you supposed to do? Not hit the quarterback there?
Yeah, that's so frustrating. If you call that, then you have to say a two-hand touch counts as a sack in the NFL.
Dean Blandino saying he doesn't like the call, but it is the rule. Well, I can hear Tom Brady saying you're rewarding the offense for not doing their job there. All right, well, either way, Lions going to get a sack. Derek Barnes with his second sack of the game, and that's going to take us down to the 2-minute warning. So, yeah, I think the NFL needs to review that because I don't know what you want the defender to do there. You're asking him to blitz. The defender can't stop the blitzer, but you're asking the blitzer, don't hit the quarterback. Whatever you do, don't hit the quarterback there, so don't play defense. All right, Chad, looks like the NFL might be behind this Vikings push. Could be. Thomas he wasn't driven to the ground. That's absolute BS, yes. He cut his hair too hard. That might be accurate. Total BS. You can't land on him. Well, I don't know, man. This is tough. Let's see. These calls, roughing the passer, is such BS. Yes, it is a different world than it was just 8-10 years ago. Surely you know what I'm talking about. Don't call me Shirley. Campbell playing good. The Lions linebackers are playing pretty dang well. Eddie, I saw this the other day. Do not underestimate the Vikings, and the Lions did not come ready to play. I would disagree with that. I can have my opinions on John Morton being owned as a coach right now, but I have a hard time believing they just said, hey, we're overlooking the Vikings. The problem is the Vikings get paid to play too. And you look at the NFL scoreboard, just my opinion, you look at some of these scores, sometimes you see upsets happening. Man, you see the Panthers and Packers. I mean, right now, the Panthers are still up with 1 minute to go until halftime. So we'll see what shakes out. But Vikings do have some weapons as well. Although I would have liked, to your point, especially, I would have liked a better offensive game plan than what we're currently seeing. Let's see. Dan M., your opinion should be everyone's opinion. You're the coach. I don't know about that. Go with your own opinion. All right, let's see. Cody, our run defense is suspect today. I would agree with that. I'd say that's a very spot-on opinion. Egon, I agree, Cody. Not a dangerous hit, just a textbook tackle. I concur. Halftime, 17-14 Vikings. Could be the way it's going. All right, terrible call. Money boss bag boy. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Who has the worst offense, the Lions or the Wolverines? I don't know. Well, we'll find out. Cody, the roughing call made me so mad, I don't even feel like watching NFL stinks. All right, my friend, move on to the next one. That penalty, complete BS. He already made contact before the ball came out. I would agree with that part. And so I don't know what you do then if you're hitting someone. Justin, our offense looking like they didn't practice against blitz. I would agree with that. I do not like the game plan about it. But, all right, JJ, under pressure, 6 out of 6. No pressure, 3 out of 6. Well, I guess we better not pressure him then. He's only a 50% passer when you don't pressure him. All right, 2 minutes to go. 17-14, Vikings in the lead. JJ, 3 receivers to the low side, 1 to the high side, shotgun formation. Let's see what the Lions do here. They're showing man across the board, 2 high safety. Stunt coming through. Muhammad misses on the would-be sack. McCarthy throws it, but out of bounds. And that's going to set up a 3rd and 13. McCarthy had an open Justin Jefferson, but slightly just a bit outside of his reach.
Okay, big play. Big play.
Muhammad had some pressure on him, but unfortunately could not get it done. All right, 3rd down here. What do we got? McCarthy breaking huddle. Shep, can his defense flex its muscles? Shotgun formation, 3 to the low side, 1 to the high side, running back to McCarthy's high side. Lions showing blitz, man-to-man coverage. They do blitz. Hutchinson gets through. He's getting through. McCarthy throws it deep downfield. There are multiple flags on the field, and it's probably going to be pass interference on Detroit, even though it's picked off by Harper. I got to imagine it's on Detroit from where they threw it.
That's infuriating.
Illegal contact on Detroit. Automatic first down. So let's see. I mean, there is contact, but man, I think that's a pretty. You're
gonna have to force JJ into making a mistake at some point here. You got to keep him out of the end zone here.
Here we go. First down for the Vikings. 1st and 10. JJ under center, 2 high, 1 low, 1 running back behind, man in motion inside. And Lions wanted a flag, don't get the flag. JJ throws it out and incomplete, out of bounds. Muhammad again with pressure on McCarthy, and McCarthy starting to, incomplete some passes here. All right, let's see what we get on 2nd and 10 here. 1:38 before the half. 3 to the low side. Shotgun formation, 1 to the high side. Lions again in man-to-man. Lions do not blitz, trusting on the front 4. There's a tip ball. It is complete behind the line of scrimmage. And Jefferson's going to be brought down for a half-yard, half-foot loss on the play.
Okay, no penalties right here. Keep this clean.
Hutchinson deflects it with his face, basically, causing the completion, I guess. So, good on Hutch there. And no, that is not a hold since it's inside the shoulder pads. I know some people are going to be yelling about that, but trying to be as fair as I can be. If Hutchinson would have turned or if McCarthy would have tried to break the pocket, that would have been a hold then. All right, you got 3 to the low side, 2 to the high side, empty backfield for McCarthy. He's dropping back to pass. He's under a little pressure from Hutchinson. He slings it over the middle, and I think it's picked off by Terrion Arnold.
Would be his first career interception.
We got to see a signal from the officials, I would say, at some point. Lions clearly are going to say it's a pick. I don't like it. You have 5 officials all huddling up saying nobody saw anything. How do none of the 5 see it? This is not a good look for the NFL. All right, let's see. Catches it. He doesn't have control. Arnold's got it going to the ground. That looks like a pick. And to be fair, from that angle, I know everybody can say, well, just look at the replay. All right, if I'm an official live on the field, that's hard to ascertain what happened there. But sort of like we saw against Tampa Bay, a hand on it is not control. Arnold comes out with control there, in my opinion. It is Terrion Arnold's first career interception in the NFL.
That's
you got to be loving for this kid.
Hell of a time to get it.
A lot of Lions fans wanted to maybe pee in his Mountain Dew. Well, Arnold, he just made a play for you.
That is such a great time to get a turnover, to get that interception. Love that it came from Terrion. Now, how far do we need to go get a field goal?
You need to go get a touchdown. All right, Thomas, you said it guaranteed. Well, you owe the Dew crew a Mountain Dew, so pay up, my friend. You guaranteed they would give it to Minnesota. They gave it to Detroit, so pay up, my friend. I'm just messing with you, man. Have a little fun. All right, TA all the way. I'll go with that. Money boss, bag boy. Let's flip and go. Finally, congratulations, TA. And remember, he did have one against the Bears, but because of Brian Branch I want to say it was a holding on the plate, wiped it out. So from a certain point of view, this is the second career one this year. Heck of a play by TA, though.
Great play. Great play. Timely. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so Rock, now it will be ruled incomplete. Shake my head if that happens.
Now, go get points.
I just don't see, in my opinion, I get they've got to check and see if it was completed, the process, the catch, all that stuff. In my opinion, the ball never really moves. His hands underneath it. Even though the ball hits the ground, he's got control of it. Booth is reviewing, though, with 30 seconds to go until halftime. I've been predicting for a while now that Terrian and Captain Jack, it is an interception. Kabam. Helicabam. How about that, JDC? Good job, TA. All right. So he got the greatest of picks for TA. So happy for him. 100%, man. 100%.
That's awesome.
The referees are waiting for a call from New York. Could be accurate. All right. Lions got the ball. They have 3 timeouts. 37 seconds to go. Can they at least get into the field goal range? Can they get a touchdown? Who knows? All will be revealed here momentarily.
Throw something deep to JMO. Man,
awesome. He's flying around. He could. Chad D calling New York. Doesn't matter if they do. Officials already said. And now there is 47 seconds left. So, yes, they adjusted the time based on when the play happened. All right, Lions need probably about 20 to get a comfortable field goal attempt. Let's see what they do. 3 timeouts, 47 seconds, shotgun formation, 3 high, zone coverage. Minnesota just dropped 2 into coverage. Now they got man-to-man across the board. Goff looking. He throws incomplete to Khalif Raymond. Goff had him, but I get Khalif's not the tallest guy. He threw it a little low for even him. Yes, TA is back. I'm gone with that. Boom, baby. There you go. Call from Rogers incoming. All right. All right. Shotgun again. I would say Raymond let up on that route there a little bit with the incompletion. Gibbs and a screen that fooled nobody. And again, I can have my opinion, you can have your opinion, but my opinion is John Morton is, man, he's calling a terrible game. I'm trying to figure out what he's trying to do against this defense. And I don't ever want to say anything bad about another coach, but I'm trying to figure out his logic with some of these plays. And I'm struggling with it, I guess is what I'd say, Riley.
That's fair. I'm right there with you. I've got a guy, in fact, if I might have him call me at halftime here, Tim Brandon, he's a football coach here. He said the same thing to me. He texted to me. He said, it's like he doesn't know what to do with all these weapons that are on the offensive side of the ball.
All right. 3rd and 11 was a favorable situation for Detroit. Now, Flores showing the overload blitz. Again, Gibbs is in. I'd go at him. Flores has gone at him. And another incomplete pass as Goff was about ready to get slammed.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, I know some people are going to throw shade at Goff, and that's if you want to do it, go for it. But you show overload. They show overload, I should say. And there's nobody left to pick up the free rusher going after Goff. Goff knows he's got to get rid of it, and he does not throw a good pass. Like most quarterbacks, you get them rattled. They're as human as the rest of us. Unfortunately, I don't think you're putting him in good situations, but it doesn't matter what I think. All right, punt is away. 30 seconds to go until halftime. It is a boomer. It's going to be caught at the 4-yard line. He shakes and bakes. He brings it back. He cuts back. He's going to be brought down about the 11-yard line. And my guess is the Vikings are just going to take it to halftime here. We'll see what happens. We'll see if they are aggressive with those 2 timeouts. Need to establish a running game? I agree. Let's see. Could have just ran the dang ball. Could have. Did Morton call? Yeah, we'll find out. What did we just see? Not much. Bill, Lions are pathetic. Good to know. Thomas, run the balls. Run the bleeping ball. Exclamation point. Stop. Setting up the run with the pass. This looks like our first game. Offense versus Green Bay. Easy E. All Morton calls is dink and dunk plays. Break time. These plays are horrible. You're not getting much resistance from me on some of this. All right. 21 seconds going until halftime. Let's see what the Vikings do. If I'm the Vikings, yeah, I'd just take a knee here. It looks like that's what they're going to do. They're going to get the ball to start the half. And yes, Lions going to have to figure some stuff out here because the offense so far has not been great. All right, guys, that's going to take us to halftime. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back here in a couple minutes. You guys all go get ready for the second half, and we'll go from there. But halftime incoming. All right, guys, let me get this all. There we go. Turned off there. There we go. There we go. I got to remember to get all that set up. Okay. Well, hey, second half's going to be here starting here pretty shortly. I think we can all agree the first half has not gone well by any stretch of imagination for the Lions. Give some credit for sure to the Minnesota Vikings. They clearly came out with an idea of what they're going to do. Give some credit to the rookie second-year quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. He's made some plays, but a culmination of things are hurting the Detroit Lions right now. Let's start with the offensive line. Offensive line has missed some key plays, some key blocks, and that's played into the Vikings' hands. Also, give Brian Flores, the defense coordinator for the Vikings, some credit. When Gibbs is out there and it's any kind of obvious passing down, he's blitzing the middle or the edge, forcing Gibbs to have to pick up that person. And like we talked about during the first half, Gibbs has had some struggles with that. Montgomery, not as much. What are you going to do? Well, you got to make adjustments if you're Lions OC. Your defense has not played terrible by any stretch of the imagination. They started the game off, in my opinion, pretty bad against the run, but throughout the game made adjustments and have kept this game within shooting distance. You're only down 3 points. Minnesota Vikings are going to get the ball, as you guys know. But I think, dear crew, we can all agree Lions need to get a stop here quickly and then get some momentum. They're going to have to show that they can do something against Brian Flores' defense because after dominating it for the last 4 years, not so much here today. It's been a tight game, still anybody's game. Riley, you see the score, you see what's happened in the first half. What do you got to do if you're the Detroit Lions to turn this thing around second half?
Yeah, I think the first half went about as well as it could have for Minnesota. I think I was talking again with my guy, Tim Brandon, he says it's like Morton doesn't know what to do with all these weapons he has. You've got to get Jameson the ball. We need to see more from Gibbs. There's no way they're going to clamp him to 13 yards again in the second half. So, you just got to stay patient with this. But, you're down 3. I still think you're 2 for 8 on third down. 25% is not going to cut it on third down. As aggressive as you are on fourth, but you've got to have these playmakers, defense can only do so much, and if you're 2nd of 8 on third down or 2 for 8, you got to up that percentage of conversion so you can keep the offense on the field and not expect and need as much from the defense. But hopefully the Lions, can tilt this back here in our favor here, and I think it's a big drive, obviously, here to start the third quarter.
Now, the Lions defense, as we know, they started off not the greatest against the run. They did make some adjustments. They got better. They did have some penalties. We can all disagree with some of the rules. The one roughing the passer on Hutchinson, The leg whip, I agree with. The other one on him, Campbell, I think it was, or was it Hutchinson that threw him to the ground? I think it was Campbell. But anyways, I may not always like those rules, but they are the rules. So you got to play around them. The biggest thing I think all Lions fans would agree, though, is going to be the offense. It has not looked the same. We talked about in the morning show. There have been some things leading us all to question. Could it be the missing of Decker? Could it be the interior line? I guess both can be true, but so far that offensive line has been beat a few times. You can see at this point, Goff is looking a little rattled. What do you do to try to calm him down next time Lions get the offense?
Yeah, well, they're going to, now the cat's out of the bag, right? They're going to continue to do exactly what they did in the first half because it was working. So combat it something quick. I think I loved what they threw to Jameson. The problem, it was like 3rd and 16, where it was kind of a more obvious play. Run that play on 2nd and 4, I think, right? And quick actions, quick passes, because they are going to keep bringing their, if anything, they're just going to double down on it here in the second half and try to keep Goff doing from anything but comfortable, right? So they're going to send the heat, just counter it with quick action.
Oh boy, what's going on? I guess maybe I missed something, Trim. You have to let me know. All right, if there's something like that going on, let me know, guys, and I'll get somebody booted. But unfortunately, maybe I didn't see all the comments. All right, guys, let's get back to the game. Yes, that is a good thing there. So, all right, let's get back to the game. Lions about to kick it off. They do kick it off, and once again, it is to the right side, which is by design. They're going to field it. They're at the 20, the 25, going to stop and be brought down, we'll say 28.5-yard line. Big opportunity for the Lions. Get the ball, get the Vikings off, and, try to get back into this game. Only down 3, but we got 1 half to go. Aaron Andrews talking about something somebody said. I'm not really paying attention. All right, the dogs are barking here as the wife must have just got home. That must mean it's time for the Lions to drive on through to the other side. All right, you see Aleem the Dream McNeil out there, Aliquin Muhammad out there, Reeder out there, Hutch out there to start as far as your defensive line. McCarthy only missed 6 passes the first half. 1 was picked off by Terrion Arnold. And they're going to use a pull up the middle. They got a lot of room, a lot of space, and they're going to get about a 5-yard gain on first down. The Vikings offensive line, beat up as it may be, has not looked suspect, at least so far this game. They've had a little bit of a break. Lions had a break going into this game. We all get it. Lions had the bye week. Vikings had 10 days off between games. They seem like they have figured some stuff out. It is a 2nd and 4. McCarthy under center. 2 to the low side, 1 on the high side, 1 back behind. Sending a man in motion to the high side. And again, it's going to be another run play. They're going to kick it out wide. They get the edge. He gets a little bit of space. I think he's going to set up about a 3rd and 1 as Campbell and Barnes bring him down. Barnes a little gingerly walking back onto the field, though. Aliquin Muhammad gave up a little bit of an edge there, and the Vikings took advantage of it. 3rd and 1. See what the Vikings do here on short yardage. Vikings going right to the line, powers formation, and Lions jump off sides. It's going to be a free first down. Aleem McNeil shot the gap. Unless he was pulled off somehow by the Vikings, it's going to be automatic first down for the Minnesota Vikings.
Frustrating to give it up for free. And a relatively clean game in the first half, too. I think there was a combined 5 flags thrown, not anything super egregious, it didn't feel like. So,
4th penalty on the defense today, and all 4 have given the Minnesota Vikings a first down. It's hard enough to stop somebody in the NFL. It's even harder when you're giving them first downs. Vikings in a shotgun, 3 high, 1 low, 1 running back to his low side. McCarthy in, calling for the ball. He's dropping back. He's under a little delayed pressure. He throws it deep down the sideline and incomplete. Brian Branch in lockdown coverage. Harper was playing the single high. Did not catch who the delayed blitzer was for the Lions, but made McCarthy get rid of the ball a little sooner than he wanted to. 2nd and 10. Hope he's okay. Me too, man. I think he just bumped with each other, with him and I think it was Jack Campbell. We'll see what shakes out. All right, here we go. 2nd and 10. Another shotgun formation for the Vikings. They're at the 43-yard line. 2nd and 10. Trips to the high side. Running back to the high side. They're going to hand it off. It's going to fake a Roo, dipsy-do, and McCarthy dives forward for about a 7-yard gain. He did a pro read, decided to keep it himself, and, hey, found a way to pick up 7. 3rd and 3. Let's see what McCarthy has up his sleeves on this one. Lions defense needs a stop here. Get the ball back for their offense, which has been struggling this game. Vikings at the 50-yard line. Trips the high side, running back high side. Hutchinson isolated the low side. Lions and man. Branch pursuing. McCarthy drops back. Alex Anzalone thought he got held. Maybe not. McCarthy throws it, but incomplete. A little behind the receiver. That's going to bring up a 4th and 3. And decision time at the 50-yard line for Kevin O'Connell and his team. Looks like they're going to punt it.
Yeah, I was asking earlier, what would his approach be? Because I feel like we know Campbell would go for it in this spot. Is O'Connell going to play it safe? Or obviously he doesn't want to give the Lions a short field.
McCarthy had a receiver open. The Vikings did a good job scheming that one open for that receiver, but the Branch pursued it, had to go around the pick, and McCarthy just threw it behind him. Raymond Fair catches it about the, we'll say, 7-yard line. Maybe 7.5-yard line. All right, Lions going to take over, trailing by 3. What adjustments has John Morton and Jared Goff come up with at halftime? We'll soon see. A little bit of a break here as they go to commercial.
Yeah, it was a great, stand from the defense there to hold them, kind of what we needed. So this is what you're hoping for, right? Is give the offense the ball with a chance to go take the lead. This is an important drive. They're all important, but now, yeah, exactly like you just said, Coach Dan, it's what adjustments have you made? Because you can't let Minnesota defensively just dictate this game continually.
And so far, that is what the Vikings, for the most part, in my opinion, they have. After the first quarter, I feel like I'd have to go back and watch the tape. But the first quarter, Goff just kind of shredded them. They let Laporta loose. Yeah. After that, it's like Flores just said, hey, we're going to jam him, jam your receivers. We're going to overload the center of your offensive line and make you make some tough calls. Those younger offensive linemen and Glasgow, to be fair, they have struggled, in my opinion, against a lot of defenses with that. Some of that's learning. Glasgow, maybe not so much. Glasgow was never meant to be your starting center. Unfortunately, Ragnow retired after the draft, after free agency. So he is who you have at this point. You're not getting somebody else unless you trade. Trim Reaper, Detroit needs let the dogs out. Hey, hopefully they do with this offensive series here. All right, Chad D, I really like to see Tesla. We'll see if we get him. But right now, where are you going to play him? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Ready to run the ball more or pass to old, reliable St. Brown? We'll find out if they do that. Although, with the Vikings putting 8-9 guys in the line of scrimmage, running is going to be hard. And you've seen that on a couple plays where we try to run it and we're getting hit in the backfield. Brent, fun to watch KOS Shep matchup going on. Yeah, there's a good matchup between the two coordinators there. Again, was nice hearing Brady give Brian Branch some love with all the controversy lately. Yeah, good job by him, although I can't really hear him so much when I'm talking. Eddie's Fish, it is time to run the power I formation. We'll see if they do just that. Indeed. All right. Should be getting back here, although they're showing basketball stuff. It is about that time of year. Hoops will be returning as college hoops are back. All right, GMC commercial ending. So, yes, we're back on the field. Brian Flores' defense has definitely made a difference in this game. All right. John Morton, Jared Goff, offensive line. A lot of questions that first half. Let's see what you do this second half. Not in great situation here. Gibbs in the backfield. Lions are going to hand it off to him. You wanted to run the ball. They ran the ball. They're going to get about 2 yards on that run. Penei Sewell might have got a poke in the eye, but he's having a conversation with somebody on the field. All right. 46% blitz rate. Only defense over 40%. Blitz rate, Jared Goff beats it typically 4 games this year, 65% of the time. Not so much this game, though. All right, Jared Goff is 2 out of 6 for 14 yards against the blitz on this particular day. He's in a shotgun formation on 2nd 8, 2 high, too low. Goff looking. He throws it. He completes it. He does not complete it. My bad. St. Brown, I thought, had in his hands, but apparently could not hold on. Nothing going the Lions' offense way so far today.
Yeah, just like
Throws
that third down.
Yeah, Goff gets it there. St. Brown just lets it go through his hand. The blitz will be coming here, no doubt, on 3rd and 8. He's dropped back twice, been sacked. Dropped back 21 times, sacked twice, under pressure 11 times. Flores coming after Goff once again, at least showing it. Shotgun formation, 1 high, 3 low, with Gibbs to his low side as well. Gibbs out into the flats, coming back. And what do you know? Another pass behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to get Gibbs about 5 yards. That will set up a 3rd and 3. There is a flag on the field, and Penei Sewell is hurt. At least I'm pretty sure that's Penei Sewell who got out. Yes, he is hurt. He's down on the ground hurt, holding his left arm. Holding on the Lions. Penalty is declined, though. 4th down and about 2 or 3, depending on how you measure it.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, you can see what happened to Penei Sewell. Penei blocks the linebacker, and as they go to the ground, the linebacker just rolls up on him. My guess is he'll be okay, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, hit the behind the line of scrimmage pass. You were saying it twice, and it happened in the first half, and then there again, like that's the best we can do on offense. That's frustrating.
So I guess they're going to have discussion to see.
Did they run a fake here?
So it would have been 4th down, and you think they're going to punt, even though you never know what Dan Campbell anyway.
Penei Sewell still holding on to that left shoulder. All right. I don't really know what the conversation was about. I was trying to figure out what it mattered if, even if there was a penalty, they declined it. So, but they're saying now there was no penalty. 4th and 2, once again for the Lions. They're going to apparently punt it away. And here's the kick. It's up there. It's out there. Another great punt. What do you expect? And it is caught at about the 30, maybe the 29-yard line. Nice punt by the Lions. And coverage, to be fair, too. The Vikings and McCarthy have the ball back. We'll see what they do here. Lions, though. It is what it is. All right, Cody, our refs trying to mess us over? I don't know, man. I mean, they called holding, but then they said there wasn't holding, so it is what it is. Breeze 9, these refs are awful. It is what it is. Yep, got to move on to the next play. Chad, defense again. Agreed. Max 77, making up stuff. Breeze 9, good job. Foxy, he does a good job, doesn't he? Oh, look, another screen that worked. Yes, I'm not really sure what he's trying to do here with those, and I've shared that with you guys quite a bit here today. Cody, refs are trying to mess us over. These refs awful. Break time. These plays aren't great. I'll just kind of I'll paraphrase what you're saying there. While St. Brown, shake my head. Yeah, and that's 2 times in 3 games we've seen him drop a pass. That's very un-Brown-like. Breeze 9, our O-line needs to wake up. I think they need some development for sure. Hussein Madley, we still have the second half. We are in the second half, my friend. Yes, indeed. Hussein, we need to think. Positive thinking, attitude. There you go. Breeze 9, they should have D-Money in. All right. Eddie's Fish, it's time to run the power I formation. All right, we're all caught up that way at least. We'll see what they do, but Lions, either way, they've got to get a stop here once again. Basically 2 weeks to prepare for this defense. And Riley, are you, is it the Minnesota's just outplaying us, or is it that we're beating ourselves?
Oh, I would say that Minnesota, when you say like beating ourselves, I mean, I understand it, but I kind of hate going that route because I always want to look at like what the other team does do well. And right now they're forcing, it feels like to me, Morton's just not like his opening drives always seem like they are really, really good. But then when he has to like think and adjust on the fly, I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing, a simple handoff on first down I hated the first down play call, hated the third down play call. And again, it's, Morton knows football better than I do. I understand that. But I just feel like right now, Minnesota is dictating what's happening in this game. And now you're in a position again where you're asking the defense, hey, can you get us another stop? Can you hold them again? And I feel like the offense is more capable than this.
All right. Hopefully Panay Sewell's okay, because if he's hurt and Decker, this offensive line is going to be majorly different. All right. He seems to be okay, though, on the sideline. Nobody really, well, maybe a trainer coming to massage that shoulder a little bit. We'll see what shakes out. They're putting on the gloves. All right. Either way, the Lions offense is on the sideline, defense is on the field. JJ under, he's play action pass, rolling it out. You got a wide open Justin Jefferson who gets up. Lions are slow to get him down, and he just picked up another first down. Aaron Jones for the Vikings apparently is going to be out the rest of this game. Landed on his shoulder, and he's talking to trainers about his shoulder. We'll see if he comes back, but my initial reaction is he may miss the rest of this game. All right, 11 minutes to go in the third quarter. Vikings on the drive again. They're already past the 50. They're in a strong formation. Handing it off, run up the middle, and about a 2-3. Make that a 6-yard gain as the Lions defense all of a sudden seems to be falling asleep. Nobody going to the ball and letting the guy keep going. Well, whatever they talked about at halftime apparently put the team to sleep on both sides of the ball. That's a coaching talk you probably want to get rid of. Rushing yards, 88 for Minnesota, 27 for Detroit. It will be about 2nd and 4. And a fumble. But he is able to recover it, is McCarthy. He's going to go down for about a 1, maybe 2-yard loss on that one. Unfortunately for the Lions, when the fumble happened, nobody could get to it in time. That's going to set up a little bit longer third down for J.J. McCarthy. The snap right to his chest. He couldn't get hands on it until it's on the ground. And then, yes, easy takedown for multiple Lions defenders. All right. Can the Lions defense hold? We got a 3rd and 7 here. Man-to-man coverage from Detroit. No surprise there. Shotgun formation. McCarthy 2-3 high. 1 to the low side. Calls him in tight. Quick in, quick out. McCarthy, quick out, and did he catch it? It looks like he caught it. Lions defense, once again, giving big cushions and letting him get after some easy out routes. That looks like a catch to me. Either way, 1st and 10, now hiked and a quick out. Looks like there might have been a challenge call by the Lions. Not sure. Dan Campbell is going to challenge it, and I don't blame him. Your team is struggling on both sides of the ball. Try to buy a break if you can.
This is going to be tough because I don't think the ball moved from what I saw, and you saw Minnesota's reaction. Oh, did they not? Okay. You saw their sideline reaction. Now you never know if that's because they're sure of what they saw or they're just trying to appear confident that, oh, yeah, no, that was a catch. This would be big, though, if obviously this is overturned. I don't know if it will be, but.
It's close. I don't know if there's enough to overturn it. I can see both sides of the argument there. Bad challenge, says Berg Time. Chad Deed challenging to give defense a rest. Could be. Terrible game today. I would agree. Berg Time. Minnesota has been way more physical today. They have been. Vikings playing aggressive. Love just threw an interception, baby. Hey, that's at least a good sign. Lions, though, if Green Bay loses and Lions lose, well, hey, the NFC North is truly up for grabs. Let's see. Right now, though, there is 5 minutes and 49 seconds left to go in the third quarter of that one, and Panthers are up 7-6. So there is that. A lot of season left, a lot of game left in this one. All right. Well, I've given you guys my thoughts on this game. Maybe it's just not the Lions' best game, but they got to find a way to overcome. That looked like another Kelsey catch. That could be. Stop, said the Great Lakes. Egon, yeah, we seem to be off after bye weeks, at least the last 2 anyways. I would agree with that. We have not really come out. Defense is understandably gassed. Cody, the ball moves, but I think he was under it. Could be. worth a long timeout. You are at least getting that for your defense to rest them up there. All right there.
Yeah, you're talking, the defense and being gassed. I mean, the time of possession, Minnesota's got 20 minutes, the Lions have 16. It's not super out of balance. I think he's challenging this not to give the defense rest. I think he thinks it's maybe really questionable if it was, and it's a huge play, right? Because it does feel like Minnesota's kind of rolling. But if it's a first down, which I do think it will be, you just got to hold him, keep him out of the end zone, and then offensively, Morton, this is what you're paid for to coach. You got to call something. This isn't good enough on offense. 27 rushing yards. I think it would be more likely that Gibbs himself would have a yard or a play where he gained more than 27 yards on the one play than the team itself would be at 9 minutes in the third quarter with only 27 yards on the ground.
Well, the Minnesota Vikings defense has definitely made this a game. Lions offense has aided in that. We'll see what shakes out here as we're coming back after commercial break. They've got 4th and 7 on the screen, so I'm assuming that means Detroit won the challenge.
Oh, that'd be huge. Would be huge if this is overturned.
Like you said, I haven't heard anything from the officials, but on the screen, they've got 4th and 7 marked, and based on Justin Jefferson's body language, I'm guessing, yes, the call is overturned. It will be a 4th and 7.
Huge.
Detroit's defense held and going to force a punt.
That's huge. Great challenge then, right, from Dan Campbell. That's a big opportunity. Now, does Minnesota go for this?
And they're going to punt it. And there's the snap. There's the punt. And It's up there. It's out there. Fielded at about the 6 to 7 yard line. Going to bring him down about the 8 yard line. Surprised he didn't call for the fair catch. Try to make something happen there, and really not much there. All right. Lions offense once again operating inside the 10 yard line. Dan Skipper coming out on the field. And that's probably to the chagrin of maybe Lions fans, but Penei Sewell is out there. Decker's out there. So Lions perhaps going with a bigger power offensive line, going to a 6-man offensive front. And that might not be a bad move. You want to run the ball, you want to give Goff some more time. You know what? Maybe go with it. All right. They're at the 9 yard line. And you've got right up top. So Goff in a shotgun. Montgomery in there. Lions going big here. You got 2 tight ends out there as well. A little bit of blocking, a little bit of throwing, and I'm not sure who Jared Goff was throwing to on that first one. David Montgomery was in the vicinity, but it was clearly about 4 or 5 yards away from him. Going to be a lot of questions after this game, win or lose for the Detroit Lions offense. Jared Goff has not had any play action opportunity this game because there's been no run to play action off of.
Yep.
All right. Shotgun formation again. Jamison Williams going to the high side of your screen. St. Brown to the low side. Goff drops back once again. He's going to check it down to Dave Montgomery, who's hit about 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. I'm not sure what, if anything, of a game plan the Lions have for this one. And it's sad to say whatever's going on is terrible. I don't like taking shots at anybody. It's just not my nature, but this is terrible. It's almost like they have no game plan for this. 3rd and 12 for the Lions. We'll see what the Lions do here on another shotgun formation. 3 to the high side, 1 to the low side. The low side is Jamison Williams. They're going to pitch it out. David Montgomery nearly fumbles it. Taylor Decker out there leading the way, and David Montgomery does fumble it. Fumbles it way forward, and now Harrison has it, and he's going to be tackled down about the 35-yard line. David Montgomery had the ball and then just gave it up after the first down. I don't even think anybody punched it out from him. Maybe I'm wrong. I have to see it. Nope, it is punched out on the tackle from behind. He loses the ball. And in a day where nothing has gone the Lions' way, Dave Montgomery has added to that. The Lions have been bullied all over this field, and I'm not sad to say, or sorry to say, I should say, the Lions are beating themselves today. Every aspect of the team, at least on the offensive side. I'm not going to take any real big shots at the defense or special teams yet. All right, well, it is what it is. They're at the 35-yard line, up by 3. JJ is going to hand the ball off, and I don't blame him because they're going to cut back, and the Lions just getting destroyed on the ground still this game. Any cutback lane is just being a gash opportunity for this Minnesota Vikings defense. Lions are overcommitting anytime they show one way and they give up the opposite side edge. And the Vikings, to their credit, have taken advantage of it repeatedly this game. 2nd and 7. Under 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Can the Lions defense make a play? Shotgun formation to the high side, one to the low side, double running backs in the backfield. McCarthy drops back. He's got time. He throws it out there to a wide open receiver for another first down. Addison with the catch down to, I believe, around the 10 or 15-yard line. They're going to mark him, we'll say, at the 10-yard line. 1st and 10 for Minnesota. Now, some of you may ask, why are they leaving 2 running backs in to pick up the blitz? Now the shotgun formation. Those linebackers want to come up. You got 2 guys to pick them up. You're trusting that your receivers can win on one-on-one situations. All right. Under center is McCarthy. Power formation. Again, another run up the middle. This time the Lions show some resistance and bring them down for about a yard and a half gain. 2nd and 9. All right. 2nd and 7. So far, the Vikings have just controlled this game. They're in the red zone once again. 2nd and 7. 17-14. Vikings lead and the ball. McCarthy under center. 2 to the high side plus a tight end. Play action pass. A little bit of pressure. He throws it out there, and out of bounds there.
This is a big play, man. You got to, if you can, I don't know if they would kick a field goal. I'm sure they would, given the way their defense is playing. But if you got to keep it a 1-possession game because our offense is not playing well at all.
Give credit to Hutchinson there. He picks up the tight end Hutchinson, leaking out on the delayed route, then gets after the quarterback and gets pressure on him, forcing the incomplete pass. Otherwise, I think he would have had a touchdown there. Vikings player, I think that's Justin Jefferson down the field. I'm guessing the cramp monster has got his lower right leg based on how it's twitching. So my guess is we'll have a little bit of a pause here while they address the Vikings superstar wide receiver. Drew Rocky. All right. Cody Jefferson cramps. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Bergheim needs to hold them here. Yeah, if you can hold them to a field goal, you're only down 6. I would take that as a win at this point. Come on, Lions, exclamation point. This is our year, maybe not our weekend. That could be all that could be accurate. JK, I say they playing yes, I'll go with that. I'm trying to think of a way to reword that for you. Chad, I spent $1 billion on this team, laughing out loud. Just spent $1 billion. They did. It doesn't mean you go undefeated just because you spend money. Rock, they are the Vikings, the only team playing. You would think you with the announcers, all right? Are the Vikings the only team playing? You would think so with the announcers. All right. Bird time. Worst game since Green Bay. Cody, we haven't had a pass like that all day. Okay, I think I'm all caught up that way. JJ flinched. We'll find out. Chad, 13-6 Panthers. Well, that could help. If only we could win, then that would be more impactful. But I guess it would keep us within a half game. Packers are down right now. This is a big opportunity. We need the W. I'll take that. Jerome, we got to stop having these not our weekends. Anytime you have a bad weekend, it's probably not a good time for it. Rock, the way we're playing Tuesday would be interesting to at least trade for what offense for that offense coordinator. Wonder who you can pick up. All right, John, very bad team off by Great Lakes. We have big problems. We got big problems, and we cannot lie. Who would be a center? I mean, I don't think you can replace everybody on the offensive line, Riley, but You think the Lions need to make a move for maybe a center or another offensive lineman?
I mean, it's easy to say when the game's going like this and they're letting us down. But I think if you just look at, when you woke up this morning, did you feel like that? Did you feel like this was a panic situation? And I always look at it, if I just walked in the room, hadn't seen any of this game to this point, and it's 6 minutes, 13 seconds left in the third, 17-14, I'm like, okay, yeah, I feel like the Lions will have what it takes to win the game. You got to hold them here. It's just not been a good day. And these other teams are really, if you thought Minnesota was just going to roll over today, that's not the case. I still feel like the Lions can win this game. But this is a big play, obviously. You got to hold them. And then, for Pete's sake, on offense, man, you've got to do something different.
All right, getting back to it, Jefferson does appear to have cramps. Yeah, they gave him some stuff to chew on, probably help get some flow into that leg a little bit faster, some electrolytes, etc. And anyway, getting to this one, 3rd and 7, big opportunity for the Lions defense, shotgun formation for JJ, single coverage down low, trips high, running back to his low side. Lions showing delayed blitz. There is the delayed blitz. Jack Campbell now backs out of the blitz, picks up the running back. McCarthy's got wheels. He's getting out there. He's going to walk it in for a touchdown. Yep. And that's going to make it a 10-point affair. Lions defense had an opportunity. Hutchinson came in, got he stunted in, and nobody picked up that side. When you stunt the ends like that, you better have somebody over there who can help pick up the edge, because now you just gave up the edge, and a mobile quarterback, guess what? Can kill the edge. You got to say that was on whoever ordered up that defensive play, because you knew going in you would be giving that up, and you gave a walk-in touchdown on 3rd and 7. Down 10. Not many Lions fans had this on the scorecard, but it is what it is.
Yeah, offense now. I mean,
McCarthy, 3 touchdowns today, 2 through the air, 1 on the ground. And I'm just shocked. You ordered a stunt with Hutchinson on the right-handed quarterback's right side, allowing them to have full view of that open portion of the field. I mean, that one I would say it's not on the players. That one's on a coach. Somebody ordered that. All right, Jeremy Reaper, the Lions have had way too many offensive weapons to be this slow this time of year, in your opinion. I'll go with that. Yes.
Yeah, this is disappointing. Need to be, especially coming off a bye. This is way too stagnant. This has to change. You need a touchdown here. You go get a touchdown. Feel like you need to get lucky with one more pick or fumble or something. But yeah, I woke up this morning very confident in the Lions offense, and I don't feel that right now. But yeah, I think Trim Reaper's spot on. It's should be more explosive than this.
Well, John Morton, I would say it's been fair to say he's been conservative, but at either way, the great return for the Lions, going to bring them up to about the 40-yard line to start by Sailors. Showing a Panthers highlight. Panthers are now up 13-6, start of the 4th quarter. Lions currently are going to need the Panthers to hold on to try to help them out, unless the Lions can get this turned around. Gibbs is in, for those wondering, and for all those saying, Monty needs to be out there more. One thing we know with MCDC is he does not appreciate fumbling. Although you got both running backs in, Gibbs and Montgomery. Gibbs now out as a wide receiver. And Goff under pressure immediately. He avoids 1 sack, does not avoid the 2nd sack. Have what you want to say, but if you can't give a quarterback time, it's hard for anybody to do much. Goff did not get away from the 2nd sack attempt, and now you got an offensive lineman for Detroit down. Can't see who it is. Think it's Mahogany. No one without a quarterback that can run will ever win Super Bowl. No one without a quarterback. What about Tom Brady, Max? Didn't he win 7? He's not even slightly mobile. So I would disagree with that sentiment. Like Jared Jones, this OC is trashed. He's not looking great today. I'll say that. Oh, was it Decker? Okay, thank you, Cynthia. I couldn't tell. Leonard, so a first week bye off rest last with Washington. Last year hurt us. Then a bye week also is hurting us. I'll go with that. Who is it? Somebody said Decker, but I can't confirm that yet. Central Scrutinize, somebody better hit Jefferson hard. That's all I have to say. No adjustment. What did they go all on halftime to agree that Vikings should win, it seems? Okay, Decker, thank you for that. Josh Jackson, I'm not a John Morton fan, never been. Okay, Max, you're not too bright. All right. Yeah, I don't think the mobility has anything to do with it, but, to each their own opinion. If that's your opinion, have at it. Decker is hurt. Let's see. Yeah. Decker standing there. He got rolled from behind by the first would-be sacker, rolled on his ankle, goes down. He's walking to the locker room. The good part is he's walking.
Yeah.
All right, Skipper's in as your left tackle. 2nd and 18. Right. Not much going the Lions' way here today. Goff against another blitz. Throws it, and it is to St. Brown for about a 16-yard gain on 2nd and 18. Lions, they're going to have to get something going here because they are in danger of really falling behind even further here. Yeah. Big time catch there. Vikings played man, and I'm surprised by that. 3rd and 3. Goff out into the flats. It's to Brock the Hitman Wright, who's going to power forward for a 12-yard gain. Detroit Lions, first down.
Huge. Now, given the way that this game is going, if the Lions can offensively just dictate, the defense can, I think they've played pretty well. This would be a huge win if you can still go get this win.
1st and 10. 4 minutes, 46 seconds to go in the third quarter. You're down 10. Lions need points in the worst way possible. They're at the 44.5-yard line, 43.5-yard line. Goff under center, tight formation, 2 to the bottom of your screen. Lions showing some life offensively. Jameson Williams rotates to the high side of the screen. Play action pass from Goff. Goff looking to J-Mo. J-Mo gets it for about a 15-yard gain. He had to go up in the air, but he held on. Goff's out clapping hands.
Finally. Come on. Touchdown.
And for those asking, that is not an easy throw. You're throwing over a middle linebacker in zone coverage, and he threw it right at him. He had to put that into only a window that the receiver gets it.
Yep.
It could be a pick.
Saw that play just now. You're spot on with that, Dan. That's a good ball. And that's good. Goff, show some fire. Let's go.
Lions showing some life offensively for the first time, seemingly since the first quarter. Tight formation to the high side, 1 to the low side, Gibbs behind. And there's going to be a penalty on Detroit for a false start on Gibbs, I believe. 89, my bad, on Wright. Lions keep shooting themselves in the foot here, early, often, and repeatedly throughout the game. I saw Gibbs flinch. I did not see Wright, but it doesn't matter. It's 1st and 15 either way. Lions offense has shown some life here. Can they get a touchdown? Touchdown would be massive for this team.
Would be huge. Like Cynthia says, all caps, please change the momentum. I mean, can you imagine? You get a touchdown here, the defense gets a pick, you go, it's easy to start going ahead of yourself mentally, but God, if the Lions
center to Gibbs. Gibbs going to try to cut it up here. He's going to get about 2 yards before being brought down. That's going to set up a 2nd and 13 here. The Chargers chewed him up, as I know the commentators were talking about on the ground last week. That is not the situation this week. I'm guessing Minnesota's coaches had some conversations with the defense about that. 2nd and 13, Goff under center, Gibbs behind, 2 to the low side, plus Sam Laporta. Overloading the bottom of your screen. Goff dropping back, play action. And the screen is set up once again, and once again, it's doing nothing. Flag on the play, multiple guys in motion, guessing illegal motion by Detroit. Lions, I don't know what's going on here today, but it's almost like they haven't even had a practice. They got a holding and multiple penalties, we'll just say, against Detroit. Laporta and St. Brown in motion. That's a no-no. It's almost comical.
Yeah, I mean, it's what are we doing? Usually the Lions execute better than this.
Lions fans will be happy. Isaac Tesla is out on the field.
We need somebody to make a play. Come on.
Second and 23 now for the Lions. After getting something going offensively, now they've gone in reverse. 2:40 to go in the third quarter. Shotgun formation, 1 high, 3 low. Gibbs to the low side. Goff's looking and does throw it to Laporta, who gets about, we'll say, 8 yards. It's going to make it a little bit more manageable third down, say about third and, 15, right around there. They're saying third and 14. Again, I don't have a spotter, so I'm just doing the math in my head. Where the screen passes to Gibbs, they've thrown about 8 of them today, Leonard, and I think they've gone for about a minus 2,000 yards. All right, shotgun formation to the low side, one to the high side. He's looking deep. He's looking to Jay Powell. Jay Wild breaks the tackle. He's going to get a first down and maybe about 3 yards more.
Let's go.
Jay Powell hit the spin button on your Madden controller and left the defender in the dust. Jameson Williams got the Detroit Lions a big first down there.
Come on, touchdown. Come on.
Dan
Nice.
Skipper, by the way, not to take offense focus off anybody else. He has not looked bad as your left tackle. Yeah, I get it's only been about 4 or 5 snaps, but he has not done a bad job. All right, Goff drops back. He's going to throw it. He's going to get to Jameson Williams, who drops it. Crossing route for J-Mo, and apparently it crossed up his hands. Breeze 9, I hope you are right, my friend. Hope you are right. All right, 2nd and 10. Let's see what we do here.
Yeah, B's 9 is right. Go ahead.
Strong formation once again. To the high side, one to the low side. Here's a handoff to Gibbs. He breaks one tackle. He jukes out another. He gets about 5 yards on that play.
Come on.
He'll bring up a 3rd and 5. $1:19 to go in the third quarter. They're going to say 3rd and 6. Lions, I'm going to guess, are in 4-down territory. Season average, 103 yards rushing for Gibbs today, 23 yards. Shotgun, 3 low, 1 high. The high is Laporta. Blitz is on. He's getting pressure, and he gets hit. Again, Gibbs can't block the linebacker. So Gibbs has been overpowered at the line, and what you're seeing here from the Minnesota Vikings, I'm going to guess you're going to see every team in the upcoming next 4 weeks repeat it.
100%.
Gibbs comes in, and that's just a sorry, not I'm sad to say, a sorry block attempt.
Yeah.
Puts one shoulder in and gives up leverage.
So this is tough. Do you take it because you got to keep it a 1-possession game? Do you take the points?
They're going to take the points on 4th and 17. All right. Jake Bates should be an easy one for him. Nothing's been easy for Detroit today, but he makes it, and it's back to a 7-point game.
All right.
24-17 with 11 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, that would have been a tough spot if you went for it and didn't get it. So this is keeping the tables close, I think, here. But
Well,
another turnover.
Lions are going to have to come up with some answers after this game without question, because Gibbs' pass blocking or blitz pickup has been exposed this game. Give credit to the Minnesota Vikings and Brian Flores. He saw something on film that led him to believe this was a massive weakness he could take advantage of. And after that first drive, he's been all dialed in on it. Any obvious passing downs, he's mid-blitzing, sending somebody up there for Gibbs to have to pick up, and Gibbs has not done a good job of it.
Here's what's interesting too. Time of possession, Detroit's got 22 minutes, 42 seconds. Minnesota's got 22 and 7 seconds. So it's about as even as you can have it. Passing yards, Goff has 149. McCarthy has 105. So you've had the ball more. You have more passing yards, but it just feels like we're not doing anything offensively. But it's
all
a
right,
fair game.
He's at the 15, the 20, the 25, the 30. He breaks a tackle. He's gone.
That's terrible.
It will be, a touchdown. There is a flag on the play.
Horrible.
We've been talking all season about the Lions special teams coverage unit, and the penalty appears to be against the Vikings.
Oh, that's huge if that's the case. Please come back. Please be on Minnesota.
Lions special team coverage has been talked about a lot this season, and the Vikings have holding on the Vikings will negate it. Best news for Lions all day, apparently.
Oh, my gosh.
End of the third quarter, though.
Yeah, my heart sank thinking if that stood, 31-17 was the score I predicted. That's what it would have been, but I just had it the other way. But this is – you got to too many thoughts in my head to even formulate a coherent sentence. You've got to play better on offense. You've got to get points. You've got to get the ball into the end zone. This is feels like Minnesota's outplayed us, but it doesn't feel like the game's that far out of reach. It would have started to feel that way if that had stood.
Well, Thomas, I know this isn't what you want to hear, but are you blaming the defense or are you blaming the offense for this game? Or are you blaming the entire team? I don't know. J-Mo can't drop balls. Him and St. Brown have both got drops today. So if you're going to come after J-Mo, you got to also be fair and say, hey, how about that drop by St. Brown? One-score game, no worries. Let's hope so. Legatron, there we go. Let's hope the D can get us a stop here because without it, we'll see. Refs are bipolar. I'll go with that. But, hey, they could have picked up that flag. Instead, they called it and kept that touchdown off the board. So give the refs some credit there. Jim, a pick six. That would be great, 100%. Coach Rock, kick it in the end zone for the rest of the game. We'll see if they do. Egon, 6-6 with the tackle. Eddie's pitch. We need to keep David Montgomery in the game to motivate him out of passing downs. Okay. Let's see. Thomas, we look absolutely horrible. PUU. All right. We look clueless in all three faces. Dan should fire more and take over play calling. Let's start there. All right. Bold strategy there, Cotton. Let's see. Hassani, end of the third, 24-17. Dano, is the offense's fault. Leonard, what is the problem here? Ooh, we could do a deep dive there. We should have worried. We should have worried. All right. Such scrutinized refs are calling the game. Hey, I've got no problem with the refs. I know the one, late hit or whatever you want to call it, roughing the passer. They called it per the rules. You may not like the rules, but they did call it correctly. Ken, bottom line, getting beat at line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball. I would agree with that. Breeze 9, Demo got a punch out and hasn't had a drop ball all season. He did. He had the first down on a massive pickup and then gave up the ball. Again, holding Minnesota, correct with that. Ozzy Manley, only one score, no panic. I like the way you're thinking. Rockin', I'm sure Dan C will set. We can clean up what's going on out there today. He probably will. That's good coaching talk there. All right. Is what it is. Lions got to get a stop here. That's all we know. Love the calm and cool of Breeze 9 and Hassan Madley. I agree with that too. Bo, one score, right, Madley? Bang, I guess we are not okay. All right. Let's get back at it. At the 26-yard line, first down, start of the fourth quarter. McCarthy on a quick out pass. And we go to Jefferson. He's going to get 5 yards, and Amik Robinson is down on the field.
Jeez, man.
Second and 6, and Amik Robinson's going to have to come out for at least a play. Yes, and he's going to be okay, but definitely got a stinger there. See if we can see what happened. Oh, yeah. twisted his knee and then got hit in the knee. Oof. Ouch. He's going to feel that one. All right, 2nd and 6. What do the Vikings do? They're under center is McCarthy. They're going to hand it off to the running back who cuts back, and he's going to be brought down for about a 3-yard gain. Again, the Lions giving up the reverse edge has been a repeated theme. This time they limited it to 3, but the Vikings have exploited this from the opening drive to where we currently are in the game. Lions defense with a big opportunity here. They get them off the field and give the offense another attempt to tie the game.
Come on.
Nate Robinson back in the game. If I was calling the plays for the Minnesota Vikings, I would go after him. Rocky Singh also in there. Vikings in a shotgun formation. 3 to the low side. Lions and man. No help over the top. 1 to the single high side. Lions bring the blitz. Jack Campbell gets there, and I don't know who you're going to give the credit to. I'm guessing Hutchinson, because he was the closest guy to McCarthy when he went down, but also give credit to Jack Campbell, because let's be honest, Jack Campbell trips up McCarthy. It just Aiden finishes him off.
Perfect. That's 3 times Campbell stepped up huge on a 3rd down. Okay, offense. Let's go.
Hutchinson does get a hand on him. Because of it, it might be one of the easier sacks of his career. 4th and 12 now. Lions are going to get the ball back. They need a touchdown. Nothing else will do. 13 minutes to go in this one. And there's the punt. It's up there. It's out there. It's a really long way there. And it's out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. Punted out of bounds. Flags are flying. People are talking about people's mamas.
There's so many flags on these plays. But you know what, Dan? There's the way that we feel rooting for the Lions. You got to feel it from Minnesotans, or imagine for them, they're feeling like we just can't put this thing away. We're letting them hang around. The game's there for the taking. Come on, offense.
Yeah, penalties on Minnesota. Gunner ran out of bounds and made no attempt to get back in. I mean, he went about 40 yards before he actually got a foot back in bounds. All right, Scott, great job, Hutch. Dan M, let's go. I like the way you're thinking. Central Scrutinizer is laughing. Thomas, they have plays to fight our blitz. We have nothing for them, ? Terrible. Central Scrutinizer, good stop. I concur. Thomas, why is it? ? They have an answer for when we press them, but we don't have one for when they pressure us. All right, they're trying some stuff, just hasn't worked for sure. Breeze 9, always friendly fire. And unfortunately, you might be right. Trim Reaper, dang Flacco was just sacked, fumbled by the Bears. It happens. Dre Day, let the defense do the thing, and the offense can win this game. Let's see if they can. Leonard, the rest is hurting us, coach. You might be right there, my friend. Breeze 9, Riley always laughing out loud. Many comebacks this season. Let's keep that going. Let's have another comeback. Bo, oops. All right. Thomas, Ken Ross, 100%. Both lines are getting outclassed by Minnesota. And yet, here we are, down 7 in the 4th quarter, and JG and the offense have the ball. Can they unleash another furious comeback attempt? They can go down there and tie it. Let's see what happens. All right. Got a lot of people message me about this stuff. But you know what? I'll deal with them after the game. So,
yeah, this is it, man. I mean, again, if the Lions win this game, no matter what it looks like, no matter what the score is, you just know you're going to feel really, really good. This would be it feels like a huge difference, 6-2 to 5-3. And this game hasn't gone great for the Lions, but you win games in different fashions. And Minnesota showed up really ready to play. I think this game's gone about as well as it could have for them to this point. And like you said, here we are. It's a 1-score game. Go get a touchdown. You need a touchdown. Whatever plays you've got in that bag, John Morton, call them. Now is a great time to, it doesn't have to be trick plays, but just not the screen pass behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, here we go for an update during the commercial here. 7 minutes, 24 seconds to go. Panthers are up 13-6, but the Packers do have the ball. Looking for some other stuff here. Bears are up 34-27 over the Bengals, and the Bears have the ball with 12-12 to go in the 4th quarter. So worry about all the other scores on your own. I'm just worried about the NFC North. All right, here we go. Coming back to the game. This division is very, very good and could be even more balanced after today. Lions are trying to keep it a little less balanced if they can. Tight formation. Montgomery in the backfield. Lions starting at the 40. Two receivers low side. Cleef Raymond rotating high side. They're going to pitch it out to Montgomery. Montgomery's going to kind of stumble forward for about an 11.5-yard gain. Good job by the Lions. They get another first down and establish maybe a running game.
Yeah, they're pitching to Montgomery today like he's just a super shifty scat back, but we'll take it if it first down on that one.
All right, getting back at it. 12:47 to go in this game. Lions down 7. Goff making a line adjustment. Going from the shotgun to under center to the high side plus the tight end. And they're going to hand it off again to Dave Montgomery. Cuts back, going to flip back. Power forward. Depends on where they're going to mark him. I'm going to say a 3-yard gain for him.
Let's go. Come on.
Taylor Decker, for those not paying attention at home, he's back in the game. He got rolled up from behind. Didn't look egregious, but, one never knows. He's in, and I thought Skipper actually played pretty decent for him. So if Skipper can play like that, maybe your need for a backup left tackle is lessened, but we'll worry about that after the show. Lions in a strong formation. Now they're putting right in the backfield along with Dave Montgomery. Line checked by Goff, making an adjustment, calling out the blitz pickup. 2nd and 7. Going to hand it off to David Montgomery again. He's going to maybe get 2 yards, 3 yards if you're real nice. The Lions offense has not been explosive, but they are trying to beat up the Vikings a little bit. Although one could say, why wait to the fourth quarter to do that? It is going to be a 3rd and 4 now. Cashman and the Vikings are looking to get to Goff on this 3rd and 4 situation. We'll see what the Lions come up with here. They need a first down the worst way. Lions have crossed the 50. They're now at the, we'll say, 43. Shotgun formation, 1 high, 2 low. And they're going to hand it off to David Montgomery on a sweep. Good blocking, but he's going to be brought down about 2 yards shy of the line of gain. I think they ran that to set up a 4th down.
Yeah, for sure. You probably told him if you got 3rd and 4, you got 2 calls here.
All right, 4th and 2. Lions don't want to go for the 62-yard field goal with 11 minutes to go. They're going to go for it. Gambling man, Dan Campbell, going for it again. Vikings showing the all-out blitz. They're dropping 2 safeties in a shell coverage, keeping it all in front. Lions actually pick it up the blitz this time. There's throw to a wide open Sam Laporta for Detroit Lions first down, and he breaks it on down for about a 15-yard gain on 4th and 2.
Huge, absolutely huge. That's about the same spot they went for it on 4th and 4 in the first quarter. Same recipient, Sam Laporta. That's huge. Come on, Lions.
Lions had to really wait on that one because it was slow developing, and give the Vikings some credit. They're playing some pretty good defense. You can see the difference in blitz pickup between Gibbs and Montgomery, and I'm guessing finally the Lions have decided to see that as well. All right, another power formation for the Lions. They're going to hand it off to Dave Montgomery. Montgomery is going to go nowhere with this one. Try to cut back. I'm not sure what he was looking at, but he's going to get maybe a foot of gain. All right, we're going to show some highlights of, let's see, looks like Denver coming back. We're trying to come back against the Houston Texans. All right, getting back to this one. It's going to be 2nd and 10. There is a flag, though. That must have came out pretty late. Officials still talking about it. They're waiting for New York to tell them what the flag is because, man, that is a late flag. What? Block in the back on a running play? I'll have to see the replay. Where is there a block in the back? Yeah, all right. He does show Jameson Williams unloading the back. I would say, I know Tom Brady's kind of talking about that. That's a little, little chintzy, but it is what it is. 1st and 20. The Lions are at the 36-yard line. Goff shotgun. Gibbs back in. Lions drop back to pass. Goff under some pressure. Gets rid of it. Deep shot in the end zone, and that is way too long. I think he's just throwing that one away. Flag on the play. Against Detroit, appears. Holding. Penalties decline, though, so it'll be 2nd and 20. Goff threw it away as he was ready to take a sack. That is a hold by Decker. It is a hold. I'm not going to say it was a bad call. All right, well, 2nd and 20. Lions, you got some downs here to work with. What are you going to do here? And another screen pass. This one, hey, maybe 4 yards. John Morton loves the screen pass out of the wide receiver backfield, and I've expressed my opinion on it repeatedly this game. Morton got to go. Well, we'll see what happens.
I mean, I love that you go.
So Ratledge is out of the game, by the way. The rookie. 3rd and 14.
Okay, what do we got?
Lions facing another overload blitz. Goff drops back. He's under pressure. Throws it. Does get it to St. Brown, but Brown is going to be about 5 yards short of the line of gain. What will Dan Campbell elect to do? And St. Brown is down on the ground, and he is hurt.
Holy hell. There, after every play, somebody's hurt.
That was a high throw from Goff. My guess is he strained a ligament going up for the ball. Let's see the replay here. Looks like he might have pulled a muscle in his lower right leg, if I see it right there. He's going to be out to play, and a key play at that on 4th down. If it's me, I'm taking the 3 points here and saying, hey, defense, you got to get the ball back.
I think so. I think you have to account for something on this drive because even if you score a touchdown, there's still plenty of time for Minnesota to go. It's not like your back's against the wall here.
Not having St. Brown, I would go for the 3.
Yeah.
I would not go for the 1st down. Let's see what they do, though. They're going to go for it, though. Gambling man, Dan Campbell. So, hey, we don't do 3s here. No St. Brown, no problem for the Lions as Goff in another shotgun formation. Boy, oh boy. Tesla is out on the field along with Khalif Raymond and a host of other people. Goff making a line adjustment. Man, Vikings aren't even keeping anybody deep coverage. They're going to drop Smith back. And, hey, we got the movement line of scrimmage. Flags are flying. Did the Lions draw them off? We'll find out. It looks like, yes.
Please.
Offside on the Minnesota Vikings.
See, that's why we were just saying line up and go for it.
Let's see if it is a 1st down. Neutral zone and flag and fraction. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on. Well, that helps.
That helps exponentially because now if he is ready, you can bring St. Brown back in.
If the Lions win the game, like you said, there's going to be questions asked no matter what, but will people still feel like Morton's got to go? If you're 6-2 and you still have one of the best offenses in the NFL, I agree that the play calling here has been not great today.
So St. Brown does have to go out. The referee is correct. He said there was no snap, so St. Brown has to remain out. He is correct with that. I did not consider that. So he's got to wait until the next snap, Paul. Tesla will stay in your St. Brown marks. We'll see. My guess is you have Laporta take over any role that St. Brown would have had on that play. All right, let's see what we have here. We got 8 minutes and 10 seconds and ticking. Lions down by 7. They're in the red zone, trying to mount a bit of a comeback here. They're at the, we'll just round up and say 15-yard line. Shotgun formation. Montgomery in there. 3 to the high side, 1 to the low side. What do they do here? They send Tesla in motion. They're going to drop back the pass. He's looking. Crossing route over the middle. It hit Brock Wright in the butt, and apparently Brock Wright wasn't even looking for it. Goff got smacked, and we got another Lions player down. It is Mahogany. Lions have no starting offensive interior guards left. Decker left this game. Ratledge is out, and now Mahogany is out. Ratledge appears to be coming back in, though.
Good spotters up here. Keep things in line. Smith earned his pay today.
Goff took a pretty big shot. I think he got a hand to the helmet, but no flag from the officials. While there's an injury timeout, I'll be right back. I'm going to run to the loo.
You got it. Let me get some of you guys in here. Pierce Sargent, looked like cramps for St. Brown. He should be fine. Beautiful hard count by Egan. Yeah, that was great. My heart was pounding. Obviously, we'll take that. Didn't even have to snap the ball. We'll take the first, but you need to capitalize on it here. Dre Day, wow, this is crazy. The O-line is falling apart. Man, this is it's like after every snap, somebody's down. I don't know what is going on. Injuries racking up. Jay Cruzen. Good to see you, Jay Cruzen. Let's see. The central scrutinizer needed that one. Central scrutinizer also said kick the field goal because the offense isn't getting it done. Yeah, I said it. Coach Dan said it too. I felt like I would have taken the points. I guess it makes sense though to at least try to get Minnesota to jump off sides, because if something happens and you jump, a 5-yard further field goal at that point shouldn't be, a detriment for Jake Bates there. So at least it makes sense to at least line up. Cynthia says, "Oh my, Bees9, can we focus on the O-line now and stop talking about edge?" Thank you. Yeah, I think that would be a more pressing need. I'm going to pull up the stats to see team stats right now. If you look at the box score, it doesn't feel, I wouldn't think I would feel what I'm actually feeling. The Lions have 244 yards to Minnesota's 208. They've thrown for 181 to Minnesota only has 100. But remember, Minnesota started with those great field positions on those couple of early drives. But you still have a chance here. You got to capitalize. Are you muted, Coach? We can't hear you, Dan. Can you guys hear me? I always get tripped up on these audio issues until Coach Dan gets to that message that notifies him that he's muted and Mahogany's being carted off.
All right. Sorry about that. Thanks, Victor. Yeah, it's the hit there. Yeah, looked just like Hutchinson. All right, they're going to pitch it out to Gibbs. Gibbs out there. He's going to get a yard, maybe a yard and a half. So we hear you, Riley. Well, that's good because I was muted. All right. Wave your hands, Riley. There you go. Yes. All right. I believe time for Gibbs to pop one. That'd be a good time. Jerome, we have too many issues to get to the Super Bowl this year and a lot of small and big things. All right. All right. Well, whatever it is, injuries, no injuries, situation is 3rd and 9 with 7.5 minutes to go. Goff in shotgun. 3 to the high side, 1 to the low side. Laporta rotating low side. And we've got a penalty on Detroit.
That's brutal for Mahogany.
Lions are shooting themselves in the foot early, often, repeatedly this game. The grit has not been there this game. It is 3rd and 14. 7 minutes, 9 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Shotgun, trips to the high, 1 to the low. Flores showing the overload blitz. St. Brown creeps in. Goff takes the snap. Looking, he's under pressure. He's going down. Well, we can say this about the offense. I know we've been talking about it for a few weeks on the morning show. To me, the offensive line is the biggest need on this team. They are struggling. And it's not just one spot, it's multiple spots, communication, the whole shebang bang. 4th and 23 is going to bring Bates out on the field. And we'll see what shakes out with this 45-yard attempt. It's up there, it's out there, it's blocked.
Oh.
And he is gone. He gets up. Fortunately, Fox blocks him out of bounds, prevents the touchdown.
Brutal.
Not much going the right way for the Lions today.
Big play from Fox to stop that, but it's tough. Now you need a pick.
Lions did a good job just to prevent the touchdown on the block there, because that could have easily gone to the house.
Yeah, special teams has been horrible today.
People often ask me why I don't gamble on sports.
This is why.
Because it's really hard to predict sports. I mean, unless you got the Sisters of the Deaf, Dumb, and Blind and Poor playing against somebody else, especially at the professional level. All right, well, Lions defense in a bind here. Vikings pitch it out. Not much edge setting like we've seen all day. Vikings pick up about 6 on that play, setting up a 2nd and about 4. Our line looks horrible. It's looked horrible all game. No, I'll go with that. This is ugly. It hasn't been pretty. Not ball game still. Not yet. Some Ricky Steamboat horse Spocky. I'll go with that. Jack, Breeze 9. If we don't have an offensive line, we are done. And right now, the offensive line is in question with the injuries. 2nd and 5, under 6 minutes to go. A game controlled by the Vikings. And they are in complete control at this point. Lions really need to pull a rabbit out of their hat. Drops back to pass. He's under some pressure. He's got room to run. Looked like a hold on Hutch. Instead, it's going to be a first down on the scramble on McCarthy, but there is a flag. Maybe they did get the holding call.
This was supposed to be the Vikings' cup of coffee in the big time today. This was not supposed to be a day for them. Come back.
Holding on the Minnesota Vikings. Hey, every once in a while I get something right. 2nd down.
Can we get a pick 6? That would be sensational.
Yeah, he's clearly holding Hutchinson there. So, yeah, sort of like we were talking about before when... Now, worry about that another time. All right, getting on to this game. If I'm the Vikings, I'm just running the ball here and getting 3. The clock is your friend, but they don't listen to me. 2nd and 15 for the Vikings. Man in motion. They're going to hand it off on a jet sweep, and he's got a whole lot of room. And he's got a first down, as the Lions just have been bad in every phase of the game. I blame... You can't just blame one group. You can't just blame one person. I know a lot of people are going to say the offensive line stinks, John Morton stinks. You blame everybody for this game. The defense came out not stopping the run, not communicating, and it's continued throughout the game. The reverses have killed it. The reverse edge has been open all game. I mean, to me, nobody looked prepared for this game. All right, 1st and 10 for the Minnesota Vikings at the 15-yard line. And they're going to hand it off up the middle. What do you know? Another edge open, another run going, and he's taking it into to the 2-yard line. There is a flag on the play, thankfully. All right, for those wanting to know, there are 2 minutes and 28 seconds left. Panthers versus Packers, and the Panthers have the ball. Penalties on the Lions, so is what it is. Lions are having a bad game, and you know what? The only thing you can say is hope you get it all out of the way after this game. If it was me, I'd bury everything. The film, probably the person who recorded the film. Get rid of it all. Time to scrutinize and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Sometimes you eat the bear, sometimes the bear eats you. More than a few things to fix this week. I agree with that. Run a screen, laughing out loud. Go Kitties, Panthers, and Lions. All right. Jumbo formation, and he's not in. That's about the only thing you'd say about it. Summarizing this game, hey, you've had a field goal block. You've had injuries galore against the Detroit Lions offensive line. Goff had a subpar performance. Blitz pickup is a mystery for the Detroit Lions running backs. And the defense, well, they're showing up in a couple spots here and there, and then not other spots. All right. Under 4 minutes to go. Vikings have everything facing. They're going for them here. On second and goal, man in motion. They're going to have McCarthy roll out. McCarthy swings it, and it's knocked away by T.A. Terrion Arnold still playing strong. He's got his first ever career interception and now a pass breakup. All right, who replaced Mahogany? That I don't know, Breeze. That I don't know. No excuses at home for penalties? None? All right. Zebras, crooks? I don't know about that, JK. I think they've given the Lions some stuff. They've taken away some stuff, too. That's just my opinion. Bears are running up the score. Hey, good for them, man. Yeah. All right, here we go. Third and goal. Power formation for McCarthy and the Vikings. Lions look discombobulated. McCarthy rolls out. He's rolling, and out of bounds. I think he's about 2 yards shy. Fourth down, what do you do?
Yeah, it was smart for them because they just needed a field goal here to make it a 2-score game.
Right. Lions faced a basically rookie quarterback today and been gashed. Running game, passing game. You got 3:33 left, though. Vikings connect on this field goal. You'll be down 10 points. You still have 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. The biggest thing is going to be, hey, you need 7.
Yeah, you
need a
seven.
block field goal. That would have been nice.
Yeah,
what's
7.
that, right?
Yeah, if you need 7 and you need it before the 2-minute warning. I mean, it's got to be quick, but brutal.
It's just the middle pressure where Gibbs doesn't quite step up. Wilson on the side. He's been feeling that all day.
Well, again, I know just from a coaching perspective, what the Vikings did to the Lions offensive line, we have talked about on the show, in my opinion, since the Cleveland game. You've seen this happen. It's just the Vikings exposed it to a higher degree. And I don't think anybody's slowing down. I think every team you're going to face is going to try to replicate this over and over again because the Lions offensive line has struggled to run block, pass block. They're struggling to walk off the field on fourth down. All right, 3:31 to go. Man, if you could get a kickoff return for a touchdown, that would help things out here. I am sick, Tom. It happens. All right, Rock. If we had fast returns, guys, I would say run it back. Well, I'm surprised we haven't seen Khalif Raymond out there more. All right, is what it is, though. Move on to this one. No Super Bowl with Goff. All right, fair enough. I'm not, just so you know, I'm not blaming Goff. I'm not blaming any one aspect of the team. I'm blaming a lot of different things. Imagine paying $300 to $500 for grandstand seats to watch this hot steaming. Don't go to the games. Then you don't have to worry about it. All right, here we go. Kickoff is there. It's up there, and he's going to be brought down. Man, he's very consistent. He consistently gets to about the 29 to 30-yard line. Jacob Sailors, that is. I mean, almost every kick return goes to the same spot. Carolina wins. Hey, that helps Detroit out, if that is accurate. Let me refresh. And yes, the Panthers did win on a field goal. So
that's huge. But
that helps the Lions out exponentially. No turnovers for Goff. There's the bright spot. I'm done with that. All right, let's get back to this game with 3:23 remaining, down by 10. Goff is going to have to sling this thing around because the clock is not your friend. Gibbs is in there. I'm surprised because he's going to get Goff killed this game. There's another blitz pickup. He doesn't do a great job with it. St. Brown does hold on, but for a minimal gain of about 3-4 yards. Clock is ticking. You got to go. Khalif Raymond struggling to get back to the field. He does get back. Here we go. Another blitz pickup by, here we go, the Lions, and a deeper shot down the field. They're going to pass the 50. They're to about the 46. Still going, still hurrying. Can they pull it out here? Need to protect the clock as best you can. 2:50 to go. 1st and 10. Goff takes the quick snap. Dumps it underneath to St. Brown, who catches it. Spins inside. You got to keep that clock going. He's got about an 8-yard gain, maybe 9, and he is struggling a little bit. He's hurting. Sub comes in, so defense will be able to make a sub. 2 minutes 30. You got to hurry if you're Detroit. Lions are discombobulated. Nobody knows where to be. And now you give opportunity to the Minnesota Vikings to make an adjustment. They're going to hand it off to Gibbs. Gibbs up the middle. Doesn't even get the first down. Wow. Bold strategy when you're facing the clock to hand it off up the middle. 2:10 to go. 3rd down. Brady says clock it. I say hex no. Well, they're just going to let it go to the 2-minute warning. This is wow. Here's what I'll say, guys. It's almost like they never practiced the 2-minute drill.
It's terrible. That's terrible.
I mean, even if he gets the first down there, that clock's still going, and the clock is the number one thing you're trying to preserve there.
Yeah,
I get you're trying to get the first down, but my goodness, you've got a couple of things going on there.
Now
right,
you have to get an onside.
Detroit Lions still on the bye week. That might be accurate, JD. That might be the comment of the day. Geez, no Pete's, we'll say JK. Big Belly Lou, our offensive line is garbage. It's not looking great by any stretch. JK, every bye week. Dan M, how do the Packers lose help us with our loss today? How does it help us? Well, we're assuming we do not come back and win. We're still only a half game out of first place. That's how, Dan. Let's see. Wow says Great Lakes. What are they doing? That's a great question. Kings, sorry, Coach. They look like the same old Lions. The same old as last year, 15-2, same old as the year before. I mean, I guess it depends on which same year you're talking about. Let's see, David might as well lose rest of the games from this point. Wow, I don't get that. So, David, you're gonna explain this to me. Just quit the rest of the season. You lose a game, won't quit. Get to a game. Hey, you know you're 5-2. You lose a game, so quit the rest of the games. Can't win here. That might be a little bit of an overreaction, I think, David. Let's see, Gary, I guess they were believing their own hype, maybe, or maybe the other team just played. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Money Boss Bag Boy, this game is just so wrong, exclamation point. Let's see, Great Lakes. Then they lost another 20 seconds trying to. Yeah, I would agree with you there. That's what I don't get. Line up, correct. It's like they didn't know where to be. We're down 10 points, and we're not trying to get a playoff. Yes, I believe you are correct with that. A game and a half difference if Green Bay won. They did not win. Green Bay lost. So, yes, but to your point, yes, we would be down a game and a half if Green Bay would have won. Let's see, excuses coming. I don't believe them ready. Sorry, excuses. All right. Imagine what Packers fans are saying after losing to the Carolina Panthers. And they only scored 13 points. Oosh. Coach M, okay, thanks, Coach, for the answer. Anytime, my friend. I got you, man. Trim Reaper, wow, I'll go with that. Man, there's a whole lot of comments in the comment section. Same old Patricia Lions. All right, got you. Thank you for clarifying, my friend. All right, well, we got 2 minutes left. We got 3 timeouts. What do you do here, Mean Gene Oakland? I think you got to go a lot more of a hurry up than what we've got. First things first, though, you got to get a first down. Unless you're going to score a touchdown on this play, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, shotgun. Dropping back. He's throwing it deep. To Jay Powell. Jay, wow, touchdown. Oh, so they're going to mark him short. They're going to say his foot came out.
You almost, well, I guess you got.
I would be reviewing that. But it's in 2 minutes, so the review's got to come from both. Let's see. Those replay 1. He's not out. He's not out.
That's a touchdown.
That's a touchdown. He's in.
So now.
But it's under 2 minutes, so it's got to come from above. All right. Lions needed a quick touchdown, like I said. Hey, 3rd and 1, either get the first down or a touchdown. They decided to not listen to them, to take up time. They just want to go for it right away. Now that changes things. You don't have to go for the onside kick. You've got 3 timeouts, but you have to get a stop. And how big is that blocked field goal now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, Minnesota's almost certainly just going to keep it on the ground, probably do a rollout if it's third. But my gosh, good ball, good reception. Where's that been all game? Man.
That blocked field goal looms large now. And goes the extra point. Here's the snap. It's up there. It's out there. It's in there. Jamison Williams, not the biggest game ever, but he's been more involved. Here's what we know. The blocked field goal has changed the tide in this game momentarily. Here's what we know. 3 timeouts remain on the Detroit Lions sideline. Here's what we know. There's 1:55 left in this game.
Man, would have loved that touchdown before the 2-minute warning.
Thank you, Bates. There you go. Sorry for being more than that should be on the field. All right. Thomas, why do we have 10 seconds run off the clock before the 2-minute warning? Whose decision was that? Fire that person. Hey, fire Dan Campbell then. That's who you're firing. Ultimately, that's on the head coach. So, according to Thomas, we are firing Dan Campbell. Hold on. We've got some breaking news. Let's see what happens here. What do you choose to do?
If you stop them, right, they're going to keep it on the ground. First and second down. Man, if you could stop them, quick 3 and out, get the ball back with however much time would be left, a minute.
They're trusting in the D.
Come on.
How about a strip sack here? All right, 1:51 to go, 3 timeouts. If you're going to give them first down, you got to do it on the first play. Can't do it on any others. Right. Dave Montgomery, the big fumble, the big block field goal. The Lions have played about as poorly as you can play, and yet you got an opportunity here. And don't forget, we got breaking news from Thomas that we're firing Dan Campbell after the game. All right, Mike Dole, thanks Coach Dan and Riley for the show today. Whatever the outcome, anytime, man, I enjoy it. All right, strong formation, not unexpected by the Vikings. They're gonna play action pass. It's a busted play. McCarthy's gonna take off and get 4 yards on the busted play. Unfortunate for the Lions. Second and 6.
Come on.
Could have been huge for the Lions. Instead, it is what it is. Lions have had all sorts of communication issues throughout the game and every facet of the game. But you've got a 2nd and 6. Can they get a pick 6 and win the game? A fumble 7? How about that?
Oh, it would be amazing.
You've got everybody up on the line, and it's going to be a run play. And T.A., continuing that big game. First man to it, T.A. pumps his chest and says, slap hands, Waterboy style.
Come on.
Old enough to know that movie.
So,
all right, 1:39 to go. Lions exhaust their second timeout. There's 1 remaining.
This is the key, right? If they...
One-score games. Last season 9-1. This season 2-2 for the Vikings. 3rd and 5, and you are going to have to account for McCarthy's running. The Lions have been good against mobile quarterbacks this season, but today, a little suspect.
All right, this is it.
All right, here we go. Your game decided on this play. Shotgun formation, trips to the bottom. Running back to the high side, he's going to do a delayed release, I bet. Lions showing blitz, too high safety. Why are they too high safety? Hutchinson falls down. There's the throw down the field, and it's caught. Naylor caught it, and that is your game on Mullet. They isolated the backup and got him one-on-one. That's your game.
Tough. Brutal.
Well,
Brutal. Brutal.
yeah. That was great. I mean, no disrespect. That's a good throw and a good catch. But that is your game, unfortunately. Lions are going to have to face the facts that they did everything they could to give this game away, and they did ultimately give it away by 3. All right, Duke Crew, we'll see you guys in the morning show. Not the morning show you wanted, but it's the morning show you're going to get. So take care. Enjoy the rest of your night. Have a good day. Hit the like and subscribe button. Riley, any final thoughts?
Tough loss, but man, it's with Packers losing, now the Bears are 5-3, the Lions are 5-3. This one's tough, man. It's a competitive division, but have to hopefully find a way to make you a better team, and we need Kirby back.
It is what it is. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you guys on the next Lions Talk Live. See you guys later.